If anyone does not love the Lord, Jesus Christ, let him be accused. O Lord, come. Amen.
Oh, yes. Today, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to smite those who are false prophets with the fury of our Maker's hand. And maybe a little help from our friend Kalishnikov. Welcome back to the stream. I am sorry that it is still not Rebirth. I apologize right out of the gate. I have a fucking story for you guys. Is everybody in chat, which, by the way, hello to Brain, who will be joining me in game here in a minute, to Brain, to Tyler, to Sister Pex, to Panzernaut, to Leo Wan, to Gabe, and anybody else that's watching. Hello to all of you. There's a Greg Bad Guy as well. Hey, yo. Hopefully today will be to make another Scott Hall reference. Hopefully today will be another win for the good guys. But anyway, so I have a fucking story about the Rebirth thing, which is why I look so disheveled and low energy. But I'm about to get very pissed off in describing this. So, here's the gimmick. I showed off last week the graphics card that I had put in an order for. It was it's my big switch from NVIDIA cards to Radeon, which a lot of people are doing because Radeon is focusing more on horsepower, figuratively speaking, than they are on like AI generated frames and shit like that. Which, as you guys know, I am not big on AI, like at all. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of the fact that it seems like everybody is thinking that that's the way that tech needs to go. I understand that it might be helpful in some areas, but when it comes to the arts, I'm very against it. I feel like it's a crutch, creatively speaking. And there are some areas where I think it can be useful, but I think an over-reliance on it will fuck gaming in the long run. But that's my stance on that. When it comes down to graphics cards, though, it seems that Radeon's going to be a lot less reliant upon AI and frame generation. They've got cards with pure fucking horsepower. I love it. I fucking love it. So I put in an order for the... let me bring up the card name. For the Radeon RX 7600 XT. Now, the difference between the 7600 XT and the standard 7600, double the memory. And I don't know if it's the... Brain can probably answer it better because he helps me out with my research on the card. But it has so much fucking horsepower that it's able to overcome a lot of the bottlenecking that goes when you put it into a PCI 3.0 slot instead of a PCI 4.0. As of right now, I only have a 3.0 on my current motherboard. In a couple months, I'll be able to upgrade that. But regardless, I was pretty stoked to get my hands on this thing because it's a very, very good card, and it only costs $350 after taxes. Like that's really, really good for a card that's that awesome. Now, granted, it's technically speaking not top of the line Radeon anymore. Right now, the next top of the line is gonna be like a 90 series, which is fucking insane. And they haven't even announced what the price is gonna be yet. But regardless, so I'm super stoked. Card is supposed to come in on Saturday. If you listen to the podcast, I have a rant there for that. But the basic idea is delivery driver gets lazy. So I get in touch with Amazon. I tell them what happened. And they're like, all right, we will try this again tomorrow. And, just try to be there. We'll get you. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go to bed. I wake up the next day. Comes to be about noonish. And the card hadn't, when I checked Amazon, it said the card had not left the facility, the shipping facility. I'm like, well, what's going on here? So I contact them and they say, oh, well, it must have been a mistake with logistics. We'll make sure that we've got you scheduled for tomorrow for delivery. So they do exactly that. The guy I'm talking to, he's like, here in a minute, you're going to get an email that says that we're updating the shipping status to go out on Monday for you. And, basically at some point during the day, it will be there. Like, all right, cool, awesome. I'm stoked. So, Monday comes around, yesterday. No card. I'm up all day. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I checked the status. Once again, it didn't even go out on a truck that day. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So at about 10 o'clock last night, I contact Amazon's customer service because they had told me, they said, if it doesn't get put on a truck today, please contact us. We will help you solve the issue one way or another. Their words, not mine. I contact them. The guy I talk to over the chat, he seems checked out for the day. But I'm like, look, I'm not super stoked. That he's clearly not enthused to help me. That's not a good sign. But I'm like, well, whatever, we'll just fucking roll with it. So, I'm like, yeah, I was told to contact you guys if the card did not leave the delivery facility today, and it looks like it didn't. And he goes, okay, give me just a moment to check in on that for you, and I'll help you out. And I'm like, okay, awesome, thank you. I didn't tell him exactly what kind of help I wanted, and he didn't ask. He comes back and says, I have processed a refund for you. The first words out of my mouth are, I didn't ask for a fucking refund. It's in a facility 1 hour away from where I live. And Amazon doesn't do pickup at their shipping facilities. I'm like, it's in a facility an hour away from me, and some goof just forgot to put it on a truck 2 days in a row. I'm willing, all I need you to do is contact logistics and say, hey, 2 days, this has not gone out. This needs to go out today. You need to find the package, make sure it goes out and gets to this guy. Do not, he will be waiting. Do not tell the driver not to leave until he has contacted this individual. That's all I fucking wanted, right? And they process a refund. And the dude's like, oh, don't worry, you can just place the order again. I'm like, motherfucker, do you know what time of the month it is? I'm like, it is the 4th week of the month. Like, I'm not a wealthy guy. I don't have another $300 to throw at a fucking graphics card when I've got the rent due in a few days. Are you kidding me? Because the initial estimate that the dude said was like, oh, it's going to take 5 to 7 business days. So a week and a half for the refund to be processed. And then I might have to go through all this shit again. And I'm like, okay. Alright. So I'm like, can I talk to your supervisor? Because I'm like, maybe they can undo the refund and we can fix this. So I talked to the supervisor. But it really wasn't a supervisor. I could tell it wasn't a supervisor. Because they didn't talk like a supervisor. They were, at all. They didn't, they also gave me the whole, spiel, basically the vibe of, my shift is almost over, I want the fuck out of here. Which I get it, I've been there, but it's inexcusable. Not to mention, when I worked customer service, my philosophy was, alright, I'm on the clock from X hour to X hour, right? If you want me to take calls all the way until the last 5 minutes of my shift, if someone beeps me at that last moment, I'm picking it up, and I will be on the phone as long as they need me, and you're going to fucking pay me the overtime. Because my philosophy is that you should be able to wind down about 10 minutes before your shift closes. So you can file any paperwork you need to do any reports, check your emails, make sure you're set up for the next day. But a lot of places don't think about it that way. But regardless, so I talked I'm going to say it's a specialist. So I talked to the specialist, and I'm like, I didn't ask for a refund. All I want is for somebody to get in touch with logistics and fix the problem that way. Because that's where the problem is logistics. Somebody in logistics fucked up. And, the driver fucked up, so that's fuck up number 1. Fuck up number 2 is somebody didn't make sure for 2 days in a row that graphics card went out to try again. And it's like, look, I don't understand why this is happening, but let's just fix it. Let's fix it, because the refund does not fix it fast. All it needs to do is go out on the truck tomorrow. That's all I need. And she's like, can't do that. I'm like, well, why not? And like, well, because the refund has already been processed. I'm like, well, whose fault is that? Like, unprocess it. Cancel it. Well, I don't have that ability. So find somebody who does. I'm not able to do that either. Why the fuck not? Like, I'm just kind of like, I'm dumbfounded. Because at this point, I start going into the Karen mindset. Because I normally do not get upset at customer service people because I've been there. I get it. I understand how tough it is. And I'm self-conscious enough to know when I'm frustrated at a situation and when I'm frustrated at a person. I started frustrated at the situation. Now I was getting frustrated at the people. And at that point, you know, I'm white enough to turn on Karen mode. So I turned that on. And I'm like, look, I am not a big fan of what is happening right now. And on top of that, I have been a customer with you guys for 10 years. For 10 years, I've never canceled my Amazon Prime. I've gotten good use of it, out of it. You know, and I've never even thought about canceling it, honestly, because of the benefits of it. Between the Prime Video and the shipping and all this other stuff, plus, you know, the wide variety of shit, plus Audible and Amazon Music, all this other stuff. Like, the amount of services that I use with you guys is crazy, and I feel like all of a sudden I'm not getting my money's worth. That if this link in the chain, if this, like, inability to get stuff to me efficiently whenever I need it is not there, I'll just go somewhere else. But I would much rather you do something to make this right. Because you have... I basically explained, it's like, I usually work overnights. I'm a night person. But I understand that packages like this get shipped during the day. I adjusted my sleep schedule to make sure I was here for the first driver. When he came to the building, I was literally sitting right behind my front door. He didn't knock. You know, and he did not come when I told him, hey, you just missed me. I am here. Don't go anywhere. Come to door number 6. He switches off the chat on the Amazon app so he has an excuse not to come back and do his fucking job. Like, and now your other dude jumped from step 2 to step 20 when he wasn't supposed to. I didn't even tell him what I needed. Like, you need to do something to offset my pain and suffering, you know, basically. Because I said, because she's just like, well, I'm sorry that they did that. I'm like, well, sorry's not good enough. It's not good enough. Like, 'cause I don't accept your apology. Because it doesn't mean anything. The fact of the matter is like, and I put it this way, and this is right before she just ended the chat. Without, because I said you hadn't taken care of me, you need to fix this problem, and she wasn't doing it. I explained it like this. I said, I want you to imagine if you're a waitress at a restaurant, and you are not watching where you're going, you stumble and you spill a bunch of shit onto a dude with a really nice suit. Even if you comp his food and apologize, you just ruined his suit. What are you going to do about that? And at that point, then how I knew they weren't someone in charge is at that point, usually someone in charge comes in and tries to do everything they can to make it right. Because they understand how fucking bad it is. For example, I know one restaurant that a friend of mine worked at where something like that happened, they paid for the guy's dry cleaning. So, finally I call in and I say, hey, this is what just happened. I explained everything in detail. And I'm like, is there anything that we can do? The guy on the phone goes, give me a minute. Let me go talk to my supervisor. I'll see what I can do because this sounds stupid. And he's like, give me 5 minutes. I'm like, all right, cool. And it's just this nice Indian dude. I forget his name. I think it was like Raj something. It might have just been Raj was his name. So he puts me on hold. Comes back and he says, here's what I can do for you. And by the way, being somebody who has trained customer service personnel and has worked several customer service jobs, he nails exactly what he's supposed to do in this scenario. He says, I'm going to tell you what I can't do, and I'm going to tell you what I am going to do. He says, I cannot stop the refund. It's too late. I really wish I could stop it. If I could stop it, I would. But I asked my supervisor if it's possible for us to stop it and just get the card out to you tomorrow. We tried. Both of us did, and it couldn't be done. I am so sorry about that. He says, but what I can do is this. I have recommended that the driver, the logistics person, and by the way, his supervisor did it too. I recommended the driver, the logistics person, and the last two people that noted your account all to be disciplined. All of them. He's like, I recommended all of them to have disciplinary action taken against them because what happened to you was flat out wrong. And he says, on top of that, I'm going to give you an Amazon gift card so that whenever you do place the order again, you're gonna get a little discount on it. It was $30, which is like, it's not even 10%, but it's the thought that counts. And $30 is 2 months of Amazon Prime, basically. Like it's that sort of value amount. So I'm like, that's all I ask for. Like that is what you need to do to keep your fucking customer. Is you understand that somebody fucked up, and you're in the unfortunate situation where you, as the capable individual, have to unfuck the situation, but you do it anyway because that's the fucking job and that's what you're paid for. That is service. It's that simple. I was so pissed, but thankfully that one dude, he came in clutch at the end. I'm still not happy I have to wait as long as I do, mind you. But, if nothing else, that dude, like, he got it. Like, he understood the fucking situation. Like, he got it. So, I'll place another order here in the next, whenever that refund comes in. But, man alive, I hate that shit. I fucking hate it. So we're going to shoot people. Specifically, we are going to bring down the fury of our Maker's hand upon those that would claim to be his servants that are not. The RTX 5080 comes out in 2 days. When you get your refund, just order that. Well, the MSRP on that is stupid high, if I remember right. Yeah, it's $1,000, dude. Like, it's $1,000, and the NVIDIA Blackwell's not worth it. I would much rather stick with the Radeon card at that point. Again, NVIDIA is their future cards. They're too reliant on AI. They're too reliant on it. And given that, there's this whole thing with AI in China and we're getting kind of fucked and we're way behind, I don't trust them to fucking to do it. It's only one kidney. Do you really need both? I can't sell my kidney. But yeah. It really pissed me off, to say the least. And, yeah, and Brain puts it right. $1,000 for underpowered shit powered by fake frames. That is basically what the 5080 is. To put it in perspective, when the GTX 1080 came out, the Ferrari of video cards was the Titan. 16 gigs, like fucking powerhouse of a card. But the Dodge Viper of cards was the GTX 1080. And I had that. Now they're trying to sell you Teslas. It doesn't hit the same. I want that pure fucking horsepower whenever it comes to graphics cards. Alright. So, let me go ahead and get Brain in here. Actually, no, let me start the game up first, and then we'll get Brain in here. Oh, my God. Bibbity, bibbity, bibbity. Brain throws in $10 via Super Chat before I call him in and says, oh, cool, a new NVIDIA card. Comes with free input lag I haven't felt since a 56K modem. Oh, goodness. Hey, Therion. What's up, dude? Oh, alright. Shit. Alright. Let me call in the Brain for aid. And this audio is a little loud. Give me 1 second, folks. And I hear Brain, but I hear him through the wrong speaker, so I gotta fix that too. Okay, there we go. Should be fixed now. And now let me get Brain's avatar loaded in here. Alright. Alright, there's Brain.
Hello.
Oh my goodness. What a day.
Yeah.
Good lord, that's loud.
Preceding this, Mike and I tried to play a little bit of Far Cry 6.
Yeah, that's a story that we'll start here in a second. But that just, oh my god. That was wild. For all the wrong reasons, mind you. Can you start a new game on co-op? I don't remember. Let me have a look. We're gonna try it. And if we can't, I'm just gonna say fuck it, we ball, and we just go straight into our old playthrough through from years ago. Your in-game party is too large for this game mode. Yeah, fuck that noise. Alright, we're just going in. We're just gonna fucking kill cultists and have fun doing it. For those wondering what the story is, this guy above me is an asshole, and we're gonna kill him. That's the story. Alright, where did I leave off? There be Brain. Wah! There be Random Lady. Not sure I belong around here. Lady, what? I'm the hero of this story, woman. Hey, Ray renews his membership for 5 months now. It is time to purge the sinners indeed. Let me check my weaponry. So, I've got a suppressed pistol, a shotgun, Looks like I've got an AK equipped, and I think I probably, given that this is Far Cry, I'm probably using a bow. I am. It says customize, huh? Oh, I'm using a recurve. Marksman sight. Okay. Am I gonna stream Metal Gear Solid Delta when it comes out? I hope to. Fingers crossed on that one. But we will see what happens when that comes out. All right, Brain, are you with me? Okay, why can I not hear you? Did Discord fuck up again? Hold on. There we go. Now I can hear you.
Okay, I was about to ask you over Discord. Did Discord do the thing again where it changes your audio sources?
Yeah, it didn't even do that. I switched it over and it just is like, yeah, we're not going to give you the actual audio because fuck off. It's like, what the hell? All right. So, what loadout are you going to go with, Brain?
I don't know. I have to check what weapons I've got. Oh my god, it's been years.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we actually fired up this playthrough. We only did 2 out of 5 areas, but the important thing is we have a cat.
Yes. MS-16, the M14 Trooper, and the M14 full length.
Yeah, I've primarily got a stealth loadout, but I have a shotgun for close encounters and an AK for medium encounters.
Yep. I've got
Throwing knives.
That's right. I was the dedicated sniper. I was the designated marksman.
Okay. Grenades. Yeah, I had the I had the sneaky close range build. Now, let's go talk to somebody and see what needs doing.
Flamethrowers.
George, keeping an eye on the roads nearby. We haven't heard from him in a while. We should go see if he's okay. You're one of those deputies, aren't you?
All right, so George Wilson needs help. So that is what we will do. Oh, let's go steal a car. Is this the game with the 2 girls? No, that's New Dawn. That's the sequel to this. Which, from what I understand, wasn't nearly... Like, the gameplay is apparently identical. But it is, like... The story's just not as good. I found a car.
Nice. Sorry, Peaches, but you can't come with.
Uh-oh. Well, we're stuck, but these guys just volunteered. Okay, I guess they didn't volunteer. God damn it. Well, looks like we're on foot.
Indeed. Oh, wait, here's a volunteer.
No, don't kill the civilians. These civilians aren't communist, Brain.
So where are we headed?
400 meters down the road. Though you'll want to start a little bit outside so we can properly infiltrate instead of running into gunfire. Because they actually throw a decent amount of enemies at you in this game, unlike 6.
I think the most entertaining part of that fucking attempted playthrough was when I died, and then I ended up telefragging a sniper.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Alright, stealthy time. Go ahead and put yourself up on a high point. Huh. No hostiles, just this dude. Alright, buddy, what do you want?
Name's George. I watch the roads for Eli. Let him know what the Peggies are up to. Seen a lot of trucks full of prisoners lately. Reckon they're all heading to the old lumber mill. Wasn't always like that. Used to be this whole place was filled with kids laughing, playing ball. I'd teach them too. Used to play in the minors. Shortstop for the Hope County Cougars. That was a long time ago, before this goddamn war. Been looking through my old cards. Them cult fucks killed our whole damn team.
Holy shit.
I had the full set for when I played, but some of them are missing. Say, would you mind keeping your eyes peeled for any of them suckers? Come back when you got them. Be great to remind folks of the good old days.
Alright. Did you see the mountain lion and freak? That's funny. Alright, so... Oh, wow, that's a side mission that's not gonna end easily. Well, let's see what else we can do. Why is it saying to observe this? Caribou. Oh, wait, brain. Ahead of us. Hit, but I didn't kill. Nice. What? Oh, poor cat. She got sprayed. Wait, shit, behind us. Do we have a pet puma? Oh, yeah. She's great. I forget her name. What was it again? And I can't hear Brain again. What is going on? Hold on a second. Okay. Is it...
Hello?
Okay, now I can. Whenever it's on windowed, it does not, like, audio from other windows does not go. Yeah, I don't get it either. But anyway,
her name is Peaches.
And she's having a... She's currently eating this guy. fuck them. Alright. Well. For some reason, the reverse is not reversing. Yeah, the reverse is not even mapped to anything. Why is that? Hold on. It's supposed to be mapped to left trigger, but left trigger ain't working. Well, whatever. There are other ways to stop.
Bump. Oh, and we're also not laser beaming anybody automatically in the fucking head. It's taking a little bit more effort to shoot people.
Yeah. Alright, what's this guy have to say?
You gotta help me. These guys, please don't tell anyone I got caught like that. I've seen some judges in the area. They catch scent of Chad, what he's been cooking, he's done for. Let's go. I'm not gonna sit here and let another good person die.
Okay.
Lansky.
We'll go see what he's all about. I'll let you drive since apparently my left trigger doesn't work. Well, it works. I can aim down sights. It's just in a vehicle it does not work. Peaches,
That's
do not get
weird.
mad at me.
Yeah, it... So, Far Cry 6 is just...
Sucks.
I played through it once, and I always had a problem with the story.
Ah, he's a friendly. All right, we're
I had to check the map
perpendicular to
because
the. We're perpendicular to the target. Let's get out here. Oh. Bad dog. Oh, more of you! Okay.
I'm still a damn decent shot.
Remember this being one of the darker Far Cry games, and this right here is a really good example of it.
Oh, yeah.
God damn.
So, what do you... So, Far Cry 6 basically takes the series in a... It ground down all the fucking teeth of the series, guys. You gotta understand. It starts... I played through the game originally, and I always had a problem with the story, but I thought the overall game was fine. Revisiting it, like, 2 years later... Oh, no. Guy done burnt his eyebrows off.
Oh, hey, it's the Duck Dynasty guy. It's a good thing I turned on subtitles, isn't it?
He's literally speaking fucking gibberish.
Pretty much. My wheels to homie. No, we're not doing that.
What? They took a germs.
Yeah?
Oh my god.
Alright, just for that, we're taking this dude's car. Wait, right, I can't drive. We're taking his car, and we're just looking for enemy bases to just kill everyone.
Let's see, we got...
Well, we haven't found any yet. We're just gonna have to drive.
Yeah. Alright.
But yeah, Far Cry 6, like Breen said, takes out all the teeth. Your enemy is Gustavo Fring from Breaking Bad.
Yep.
And he, instead of running a chicken empire, he now runs a tobacco empire that apparently can cure cancer? Hold up. Run from what, lady? We killed him. You're fine.
I heard gunshots coming from the Elliott's house. It sounded like a war zone down there. I wanted to go and help, but I just couldn't. Can you go? I just want to make sure they're okay.
Why does my remote explosives not stick to cars?
I don't know.
Oh, whoops!
I think you got him.
She's still okay!
Okay, good. It's just the force of the explosion. She didn't get hit with any shrapnel. We're good.
Oh, man!
But anyway, so Gustavo Fring runs an island company, or country, instead of a chicken company, and meth empire. And the basics are that you are a dude who is barely a character, if that. And they try to get you to care about a literal communist revolution happening. All right, let's scope the area out.
By the way, there's bullet drop in this. God, I forgot about that. Holy shit.
Yep, there is.
Yeah, like I said, this game's actually challenging. Tyler Preston asks, "What about Far Cry Primal?" And my only response is, playing a game where you play Grug the caveman going ooga booga Grug smash doesn't sound like very fun.
Get him, Peaches.
I'll be back in 20 seconds. Five seconds.
I know reinforcements came. Where'd they go? Also, we need to get you a suppressor on that rifle.
Oh, my sniper rifle has a suppressor.
They still heard it, though. How'd that work?
No, what happened was I hit a guy, but it didn't hit and go for the headshot like when I was zeroed in on him.
Ah.
Because there's bullet drop. And I don't know why the game isn't responding me. Probably because you're still in combat.
Is that so?
What's exact thoughts on Doom Dark Ages are going to change gameplay for most of? Well, their design philosophy, Mata, is that the Doom the Dark Ages is right now is stand and fight, simply meaning that you're probably going to be more of a walking tank than you were in previous games.
Yeah, the gameplay style looks closer to old school Doom than it does Doom 2016 or Eternal, which are more like Quake, to be honest with you.
So much so that they brought back the old school hymns.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, they're literally saying it themselves. Like, Doom 2016 was run and gun, jump, then Eternal was jump and shoot, now now it's stand and fight. It's going to be focused on more close quarters engagements than anything else. And rather than, have it so that, you got small arenas where you need to be highly mobile in, which would contradict itself as a gameplay mechanic, you're now being asked to just, like, fight as best you can in this, with lower mobility but higher intensity fights. And it's part of the reason why I'm going to start. I am going to start buying more new PC parts piecemeal. Because I have an Intel Core i7 9700K. That is literally the last i7 that Intel released before releasing the 10th generation series of CPUs. I am just outside of the minimum requirements.
Almost tracked him down. But if Peggy want to start something, bro?
I'm trying to aim for this thing.
Don't know how to handle it yourself. All right, so almost tracked him down. But a Peggy patrol got the drop on me. I need your help. We can't let this trail go cold. If you're looking to hook up with the Whitetails, this could be your way in. More importantly, you'd help put an evil motherfucker in the grave. Gotta move. Wasted too much time already. Follow me.
Alright, looks like we're hunting somebody. Well, now I know why they call him the cook. Jesus.
Goddamn cults grabbing everyone.
Well, you're not alone in that, Matanui. The few people who didn't like Eternal more than 26, the people who liked 2016 more than Eternal were both A, objectively wrong and up their own ass, and B, just contrarians on the internet being stupid.
Yeah.
Unironically, that's what that there's this YouTuber by the name of Charlatan Wonder who reviewed that game, and he opens it up with saying, "Oh, Doom is over-designed," and you know, like,
What?
eh. And mind you, this guy reviews immersive Sims primarily. You want to talk about over-design? Fuck off, you know. Immersive Sims, by their very nature, have to be over-designed, you know? Like, fuck. How else are they gonna function? You need to account for a ton of different play styles in in those kind of games.
Pretty much.
Fucking bullshit ass goddamn. I hate people sometimes. I really do.
Well, I'm hoping that the age of the contrarian is coming to an end, considering the biggest one probably on YouTube has effectively shot himself in the foot over Melanie Mac of all people.
I saw the compilation clip of him getting bullied on side scrollers. It was so fucking funny.
Oh, I haven't even seen that one yet, but if it's as bad as I've heard, he deserves it.
Oh.
It's like, dude, like you just made like one of the biggest fuck ups probably in your entire internet career. All right.
Oh, dude, you don't understand. Every successive fucking super chat, chef's kiss, because like the smile fades from him, and you can just see the There's one thing I will say is that the sensitivity while zoomed in is a little fucked on this game in comparison to 6.
I think we got them all.
Yep.
They're not letting get me out of here. Thank you so much. The cook.
Let's get moving. You want to know why they call him the cook? A couple years back, Jacob sent one of his guys out to round up this family. Parents and kids. First thing he did was starve them. After 3 days, they got so thirsty they had to drink their own.
It was just so funny. You saw the ego just completely fucking leave him. It was so fucking funny.
Well, again, it's like you basically abandoned everything you believed or thought to have believed for just another sense of self-righteousness that you could justify through the use of invoking the name of God. And, you know, if you think that people aren't gonna, especially fellow Christians are gonna just like take that lying down, you gotta, to quote a band I'm assuming that you don't listen to anymore, you got another thing coming. Alright. So we can't be spotted. So I'm going to take a closer position. We'll mark the rest of the targets.
God, the shooting pattern in this game is so fucking inconsistent. Got him, though.
One down. Shit, I guess we're going left.
Got him. I'm gonna have to switch to a semi-automatic. The bolt action is not doing me any favors.
There's more of us in the pit. He's gonna burn them. He's gonna burn them all.
Thank you so much. Let's go.
Only thing I didn't like in Eternal was Marauders.
Oh yeah, they were annoying.
Well, it's just a pattern though. Like super shotgun, ballista, super shotgun. That's it.
Kids a little wild.
Pretty much.
They fold like they fold like tissue paper at that. Once you get that rhythm down,
They said yes.
it's like learning to parry in the first Dark Souls games. Once you get it down, like almost the game becomes so much easier as a result.
Yeah.
So we went out to the parents and took their shoes off and started to play. This little piggy went to market. And the blood poured like a damn faucet. Cook had a big old grin on his face as he offered each little piece to the kids.
Jesus fucking Christ. See, this is the sort of stuff that Far Cry is supposed to be. Not constant fucking quips from some commie asshole. Jesus.
By the way, I looked into it. The main character was not voiced by Roger Craig Smith.
It wasn't.
No, which means that they got some. Here's the thing: Roger Craig Smith does have some talent, but like he can have the same voice coming across a lot of games. That's fair, right?
Yeah.
But what does that tell you when the character sounds so fucking generic that it sounds like Roger Craig Smith?
Yeah.
When they finally stopped screaming, I looked around. He was just gone.
The timing of that scream, I don't think could have been better or worse.
Right.
That's why they call him the cook.
But yeah, watching all these goofballs fumble, like Boss said, is pretty funny.
And you know what? I'm just gonna say it. Fuck Stutter and Craig for gun guarding for these people for so long too. Sorry, I'm done with the bullshit.
Dude, I got no attachment to Stuttering Craig. I'm of the same mindset.
Well, here's the thing. I respected the hell out of him during the Screw Attack days
Yeah.
because that shit was like legitimately great. But then he got into the cold and he's like, oh my god.
Damn it, he's burning.
Their souls are plagued by filth.
See what I mean? Oh, god damn, I'm zeroed in.
Them with the flame.
He's dead.
Bitter.
All because they came to the defense of a white woman.
Yeah,
Who's an
basically.
industry plant, by the way. You can't convince me otherwise. I'm fucking saying it. She used to be, back in 2014, she used to be part of the very same fucking apparatus that said gamers were dead.
That's just been right about
Basically.
lately. Colt, Eli, maybe he's right about you too. You need someone to watch your back? Call me. And thanks for everything you've done. What a bunch of assholes.
There's someone out there pretending to be a soldier. They are killing our brothers and sisters and putting this project in jeopardy. I want this coward to know that they have my attention. My hunters are coming for you. There's nowhere you can run.
I look forward to it.
Here, kitty, kitty.
Hunters. Don't sound too good. If Jake
You're being hunted. By the way, I don't think there's any way you can actually evade them.
I'm perfectly fine with that. Let's see what happens. Personally, I think between us and the cat, we'll be fine.
Yeah. I don't think there's a wingsuit in this game.
There is actually. I have it.
Fair enough.
Because I'm going to head down to the lumber mill and get some better weaponry. What just happened?
The hunter shot us with a fucking, what is it? A bliss bullet while I'm flying through the air. I'm not sure that's the best idea when you want to take someone alive.
Yeah.
That's a damn good shot, though.
Have I ever seen Turn A or After War Gundam X? I've seen Gundam X.
The world is weak. Soft.
Brain, apparently I'm no hero.
Right?
Wait, what?
One of us died, I think. Oh.
Good. Call the herd.
Shotgun.
Well done.
This has got to be the weirdest game of gun game I've ever played.
Yeah.
Yes. Sacrifice the weak.
Did we take bath salts? Something like that.
We on that mojo. We need some of that milk.
Someone shut that music off. Christ, it's Sully. When did they get here? Why are we even bothering with this? They're all check them anyways. Why am I all stuck on corpse duty? Holy shit! Oh, fuck.
Live one. Walker, go. Truck.
Yes, sir. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. Give me a hand, kid.
Dude fucking just drops you.
Eli, is this...
Yep.
What the fuck is the deputy doing here?
Jacob took a shine to him, same as us. You're gonna be okay, hero. Whitetail's got you now.
We're bringing him back to the wolf stand?
Where else?
Tammy's not gonna like
You found out what death sticks do.
Clearly. Oh my gosh. Blah. I'm so worn out from the past 2 days, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
Now hold on, Weedy and I agree.
Oh, you agreed.
Whoa, I was at best an impartial observer.
This is stupid. And this is dangerous. You both know better.
What was I supposed to do?
Leaving to die.
Oh, what? Excuse me, lady.
Long I've seen what it does to people. You haven't. You can't trust this one.
That's what everyone said about you. Luckily, I didn't listen. This is not up for discussion. We need him. That's all there is to it. Understand?
If there's one thing that I love about this game,
Not real well. Out.
they nailed the country aesthetic.
Yep.
Not what I said. We need you. Take some rest.
I'm guessing you were covering the time that she wasn't there, Vodka? Because let's see.
Oh God, that was nice. Oh God, my neck is popping like crazy.
$16 an hour times 7 equals 112. So,
You're looking better now. Go see Eli. He needs you.
All right, I'm gonna change something with the weaponry here. Shotgun's not really completely worth it, by my estimation. Let me have a look at
it's
some
okay.
stuff.
It's not horrible.
ARCL, 308 carbine, MBP 50. Jesus. And an SA 50. Really? We have 2 flavors of 50 cal.
64 plus every 2.
It's a bolt action. I'm gonna switch assault rifles. Okay,
So I made approximately an extra $232 this week.
nice.
It I had So what ended up happening is I had a co-worker call out on the day that I opened, and I stayed till closing. So that's 6 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
Day after, that same co-worker called out, but another co-worker that was working at the deli also called out. So there was no one but me to cover the closing of the deli for that night. Working on Sundays at my work is time and a half, though.
Oh, nice.
So if I'm only working for 5 hours, I ended up approximately about $120 that night.
Not too
And that
shabby.
was yep, and that's in addition to the $30 I had. The 30 hours I was already scheduled to work. I told them though, I'm more than happy to do it, but in this case, today and tomorrow, don't call me. I'm not coming in. I need rest. Ask me again on Thursday.
Could ever have enough 50 cal? The only downside is in what, like, the type of combat that we're doing. A 50 cal is actually not that useful.
Yeah,
because
you can't.
50 cal for those playing the home game, a 50 cal like a Barrett or something like that. That is a super long range weapon. And most of the sniping you're doing at this is at about 100 meters at best. Because you're in a forested area.
Only one I trust to handle this.
So that's why I picked up an M14 instead and just mounted a scope on it. Because that's a 7.62 by 51?
7.62 by 5.1, yep.
So, much more conservative round. And will still light your ass up.
Oh, the armory's down there. I need to change it.
Oh, go ahead and do that. I'm going to have a look around.
I'm trying to see. An ARCL. This does more damage. The handling is not great, though. And then everything else is 50 cal, and you can't attach a silence 50 cal. And if you do, you're not silencing much.
Yeah. So like I said, it's not really worth it. Aim takes a little adjusting, but I'll get it.
Yeah.
Come here, kitty.
Praise the Lord. Thanks. Things are going to hell in a handbasket around here. Tell you what, we should pay Bo a visit. He's an expert in survival. He'll be able to help. Have a good one.
New weapons unlocked in shops. Ooh.
You know, Dalek, I'm of the same opinion, but with one caveat. Because Nintendo doesn't seem to be particularly interested in making a traditional Star Fox game ever the fuck again. Work with Bandai Namco and Project Aces.
Like I said before,
they'll do a good Star Fox game.
Kill our people, so keep out of sight. There's a drain pipe nearby you can use to sneak up on them.
Right down here.
Nice and quiet.
Got eyes on the hostage, one of the hostages.
There's another.
Moving towards that third you spotted. Fuck, I got spotted.
Ah, shit. They know you're there.
3.
I think that's all the hostiles, so we can take a breather.
One more inside.
Found him.
There were more of us.
Fuck! Dep, they took 2 of our people up to Devil's Drop. Jacob's on the warpath trying to find a wolf's den. If the Peggies find us, we don't stand a chance. But if our guys don't give up the location, they'll be tossed off that cliff. All ours, Dep. Devil's Drop's to the south of you.
All right.
I've heard of you. You're the one Eli was looking for.
I forgot you can just straight up make sticks of TNT.
Oh yeah.
And then I think you can also purchase shotgun slugs, which are hilarious to use.
Hey, Deputy. Thought I'd check in. We've lost a couple of patrols the last few days. Walker, you remember him? Guy with his stutter? Well, he's MIA now. Just watch your back out there. We can't afford to lose you, too.
Fuck. Ha! Made it. All right. I don't know why, but I wish you could give the Puma a wingsuit too.
New Call of Duty has an AK-50 lookalike. Yep, yes they do. Does anybody really care though? All I see like nowadays is everybody. Call of Duty series still makes fucking ungodly amount of sales.
Looks like they took the whole tunnel. If you're crazy, take the front. If you're smart, head up top.
Got him. Got that other guy.
RPG.
Everyone's accounted for. That's the whitetail way, Dep. Helping
Not
us
too bad at all.
gonna have a big impact
Nope.
on morale. Maybe even get some more folks to join up too. Shit. And I knew Tammy was wrong about you. Congratulations. You're one of us now. If you got time, I got more work.
Okay, what are all these markers for?
Come see me in the wolf stand when you're ready. The weak always see themselves as heroes. No matter their cause, they think of themselves as warriors. But they're not warriors. They're
I did not realize this game tethered us. I think that what?
I caught up.
Yep.
It's like a 500-meter distance, though. It's pretty substantial. Didn't the Gooners
but,
get...
at the same time, I've been spoiled by Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Yeah. Didn't the
You can
Gooners get
literally
pissed
do
at this game? From what I remember with this game, there was some genuine concern about it being an anti-Christian title.
Anti-Christian, anti-Trump.
Yeah. Admittedly, I was one of those people. I was genuinely concerned. Because on the surface, it kind of looked like it. And then it turns out it's like the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Like...
Because I think you and I originally played through this game to at least try to be fair, because we were people in the server, because they were also having a lot of the same concern.
We got him. Stupid bear.
I was about to say, you better lower that gun.
Fuckers are using them as target practice. We can't just stand by and let this happen. Let's go.
Yeah, well, also, God, when did this game release? 2017, 2018?
Something like that. There's an outpost, but it's a substantial distance. So let's see if we can fast travel close to it.
Released in 2018, boss. So this was before everybody lost their collective minds.
Pretty much. And I was like, and not to mention this was around the time that it seemed like everybody was doing the whole hashtag resist thing.
Yeah.
And it was infecting fucking everything, and it was really annoying. So, I was genuinely worried that this game was going to do that. And in fact, it's quite the opposite. Christians in this are portrayed as righteous people. In fact, most of the people you meet in the game are believers.
Yes.
Because this is rural Montana. And the people here act like people from rural Montana. They have the accent. They have the mannerisms. They're church people. The preacher is very ingrained in the community to the point where he even goes to the bar on occasion to have a couple beers. It honestly, being somebody who lived in the country for, like, you can even hear me starting to, like, drop or put out the accent a little bit because I'm around people in the game that have a similar accent. Like, you start to pick up that, like, it really does hit the small town vibe, small town America, and it doesn't demonize it, it celebrates it. Yeah. In such an interesting way. That's why I really like this game. Who's this? It's a lady and her dog. Excuse me, ma'am.
Can I pet that dog?
They got more hostages up at the radar station. It's about time we take those fuckers out. How about it? No time like the present.
Yeah, and not to mention, like, the fact that so many of the women are tomboys, and if they're not tomboys, they're obviously moms of like several kids. Like that lady that was bitching about us, she looks like a country mother. Down to the birthing hips.
Yep.
Like she looked like people that I know from when I lived out in the country. Fuck that guy. I'm gonna actually... Do I have a sidearm? I do. I'm gonna switch to this while we walk. So... Like, man... To this day, this is not my favorite Far Cry game. It's my second. My first is Far Cry 3. Yeah. I played a little bit of 4. It was okay. And I have owned Far Cry 2 for years. Have never played through it.
It's fun, but it is radically different. if you want Heart of Darkness translated to gameplay, then Far Cry 2 is your game. If you want it as an actual narrative, stick with Far Cry 3. Because, quite frankly, the story in Far Cry 2, it's bad because it's not fleshed out. It's not bad because of, well, whatever the fuck they were trying to do with Far Cry 6.
Yeah. Tomboys where in the game? Yep. A lot of the girls you meet are going to be tomboys. It's very rare that they... Like, and again, one thing you notice from whenever you're around country girls is that if they're a tomboy but they still have long hair, they're not gonna necessarily wear it long. They're gonna put it up in a ponytail or they're gonna put it in a braid, so it does not get in the fucking way.
Well, yeah, and you can also bring up the roster of the buddies that you've unlocked so far, and it's like half of them are women.
Yep, and they're very good with rifles.
One's good with rifles, the other one has a bow, one flies a fucking chopper.
Hey, Brain.
What's up?
Do you have eyes on that that bear cage down there?
Shoot it.
See if you could open it. Yeah.
It's open.
There's a good vantage point up there where I'm pointing at. I'm gonna try to get closer.
Took out that sniper.
Very nice.
And be careful, the bear is loose.
Yeah, I saw that. Head up to this sign here and post up at a vantage point. I'm gonna use the zip line to get in there and get those alarms shut off.
If I can get a clear line of sight of the there we go. That's one large sign. I'll see if I can't get the other one before somebody tries to get to it. Nope, still no visual.
Bears down. Alright, Daisy and I are just on cleanup. Watch out, there's a wolf coming towards you.
Peach has got her.
Get him, girl. That wolf is scared of the fucking cat. This is great. Beautiful. Have I ever walked the Appalachian Trail? No, but part of that's in North Carolina, isn't it?
Yep.
I will have to at some point whenever I get the chance to move out there.
I've been to West Virginia. It's a very beautiful state.
That's good work, Deputy. That ranger station was a one-stop shop for training cult marksmen. Now the whitetails can take the goods and use the range. You're turning the tide, Dep.
Cult marksman? Is it just me or could they not shoot for shit?
They're still shooting straighter than whatever the fuck the enemies in Far Cry 6 were doing.
True. Alright. I want my AK back.
Oh, I forgot they have a deagle. The only sidearm I really wish that they brought back was the fucking RoboCop gun.
Oh, yeah.
That shit was funny as fuck. I also forgot that this game is also severely in love with World War II era German weaponry.
Oh, yeah.
Which is fine by me because as much as I hate to admit it, I do love using the MG4 games.
Oh, you can equip a fucking China Lake as a pistol.
Yeah.
That's glorious. Oh, the MP5 SD is what the next thing to unlock, it looks like.
I believe they also have the M60, but
They
I
do
don't know,
the
it's not a-
M60, and they also have the SAW as well.
yeah, the M249, the M60. That M60 looks funky though. I don't like it.
It's not too bad. It's just
It's
inaccurate
the
as
foregrip.
fuck.
It's the foregrip. That's what's doing it for me, because like real M60s don't really have a foregrip like that. They have a bipod because you're shooting 7.62 by 51 millimeter. That is a high power rifle round.
Yeah.
Not 50 cal, but still. And of course they have the Carl Gustav, which somehow has guided missiles.
Yeah, I'm gonna completely leave sniping to you.
Okay, so let's see. I want.
Yeah, buddy. Speaking of the M60.
Nice. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's some shotgun slugs and incendiary ammo.
Oh yeah, you could use Dragon's Breath against these fuckers.
Yeah.
Couldn't get him. Fuck.
Oh yeah, maybe I should buy some armor too and refill my med kits. Oh, I've got full med kits. Okay. M1 at 33 short. No, thank you.
Alright. Let's take this van. Braden, quick. I would like to say that was some pretty good driving on my part.
I'm not gonna bullshit you. I thought rescuing all these folks had moved the needle, but the cult just keeps snatching bodies. I don't know about this. Something's not sitting right. Whatever Jacob's planning, it's big, and we need to figure it out. We'll see it.
Anything notable over here? Mounted 50, huh?
Forgot the game has the tracers start like 5 feet behind you.
Yeah. It definitely took some shortcuts to make sure it ran well, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I do appreciate it because it runs beautifully.
Oh yeah. And the art direction looks fucking gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hold up. The wolf beacons, huh? What do we have here? Keep an eye out. I'll try.
Got it.
That. Discover the joys of destroying cult property in every region. Oh, yes. Which of the villains is your favorite? The dead ones.
Voss. Well, hands down. He was the best written out of them all.
Just for all the Far Cry villains, yeah, I would definitely say Voss. Isn't that like the only reason that to really buy Far Cry 6 at this point is like the DLC with characters like villains from the other games?
Basically. Not like the DLC is any fun either. Not I actually haven't even bought it. It's like I bought it pardon. I bought it on my PS4 and then I bought it on a PC. I don't need to buy it a third time.
Yeah.
Or I don't need to buy any more DLC for that game. That game fucking cheeks.
Alright, let's not rush it.
Loading up slugs. For just in case. I too am also fond of committing the war crimes.
There is
I'm gonna have to get up to that burger.
Go for it. I'm gonna go in and scope out the front and sides. I won't engage just yet. Oh, I think I found a way in.
Got spotted?
Shit. I think the cat did.
What the fuck was that? I was shooting this guy point blank with deer slugs and they just weren't doing absolutely nothing.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Ow.
Ow. I picked up the kitty.
Yep, she's coming to get me. What?
I don't know what happened. That was the perfect response, Penne.
Yeah, oofa ball. Yeah. Yeah.
Batzilla, there is a Far Cry film out there. It's not very good.
Yeah, it's beyond terrible.
It's still not as bad as the House of the Dead film, though. Woo! Oh, here we go again. I shot the dude. What the fuck is going on? I think I'm getting some major latency.
Might be the case.
Because I shot a wolf, it just stopped dead in its tracks, but then it didn't do anything. The cat picked me up.
She's awesome like that.
Yeah. There we go. We're good. We're good.
I got the chopper. And that is why I brought the M60.
Yeah, I'm getting. That's exactly what's happening. I'm getting some latent. Because sometimes I'll shoot an enemy and then just nothing happens, and then it just snaps to where you were shooting him from.
That's wild.
Yeah. Well, of course, this also means that I'm losing. I'm deer slug, but hey, all right.
Ah, fuck. Alright, cat got me up. Good girl, Daisy. Yeah, that time we got it.
Is it so bad it's good? No. No. Nothing Uwe Boll has ever made is so bad it's good.
Yeah, like that's the worst part about Uwe Boll films. They're just bad. Like there's no.
The closest he's ever come to that was the first Blood Rain film. And even then, no.
From what I heard, the Postal movie had its moments.
Yeah, that's from what I've heard, but I've refused to see it. Like, you guys, what you gotta understand, the way he would sell his movies on physical copy is that he would also include a physical copy of the game that it was based off of for PC. So when he released the Postal film in Walmart, it included Postal 2, you know?
Being hunted again. Let's go.
Oh, great. He wants to play another round of gun game. Shit.
I've heard there's a plane at the old Lansdowne airfield, but there's always Peggy's patrolling around there. What do you say we go check it out?
So glad the wolf den is in our hands.
I don't even know
Shit.
where the bullet came from that time.
I don't either.
It's scripted, I swear.
Yeah, I think it is, honestly, because, like...
You ready for round 2, boys?
Ow, I just got slugged in the face.
Good. Call the herd.
Call the herd! Kill! Kill! Kill!
Well done.
Make your sacrifice!
Yes. Sacrifice the weak.
Train, hunt, kill, sacrifice!
Good. Not bad.
Call the weak! Call the... Make your...
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
That's what I was saying, Penne. The Blood Rain movie sucked. It's just the closest that he got to it's so bad it's good, though. Which is still a mile away from the target, you know?
And he needed Michael Madsen to make it happen.
Right?
That's the kicker.
No, we're talking about the actual Postal film. He made a Postal movie. I prefer to look at it, I would prefer to look at it, Penne, as a game with because the game was more valuable.
Pretty much. Oh my gosh. Blah. I actually dozed off for a second mid gunfight.
Oh God.
How does that happen?
I don't know.
So, I guess we'll just...
God, Far Cry 6 really must have taken it out of you, man.
Yeah, I'm going to close out of the game and just kind of we'll yap with chat for a bit before I go to bed.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I am so just... I'm so worn out, man. Like... I don't think I'll ever be more mystified by really bad customer service than I have been like these last few days.
Right? First off, how do you go from like any customer service position for any company will tell you a refund is your new. Do not do that. Do not open with that.
No. Wasn't there like 3 different Blood Rain movies? I don't think there was. I think it was... There was?
Yeah, the other 2 were directed DVD sequels.
Oh, Lord.
Or at least I know there was 2 films.
Oh.
Let's see. Sequels. Blood Rain 2 Deliverance was released in 2007, and Blood Rain the Third Reich was released in 2011.
That's a title. Blood Rain, the Third Reich.
For the third film.
Oh. Wow. The subtlety. What the fuck is that?
He's not beating the allegations of funding his film with Nazi gold.
He really isn't. By the way, speaking of, well, not bad movies, but I watched Furiosa before I started streaming. Have you seen it yet?
No. I don't care, though.
I'll put it this way. You're not missing anything. Like, it's not a bad movie. By any means. But it's not a particularly good one. Honestly. Like, have you seen Fury Road?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Take similar action that's not quite as violent with none of the energy and a really inconsistent tone. That's Furiosa. Like,
yep.
There's some weird things about it. Like, what first and foremost, the director George Miller, I think is his name. My man is like way up this character's ass.
Yes.
Like, to a point where I'm like, dude, she wasn't even the most interesting character in Fury Road. I was more interested in the fucking Warboy Nux than I was anybody. Like, he was the interesting character because he had an arc. You felt bad for him, you know. But the thing with Furiosa is that I just want to put it this way. I think that they retconned one of the tribes of the Green Place. Mm-hmm. They called them, I shit you not, Volvites.
I, I'm, I,
I saw that and I went, "You've got to be."
remember hearing about that, but I thought for some reason it's sticking out in my mind that that's what they were also called in the original in Fury Road. But
If
like,
they
I don't
were,
know.
it was so brief that you didn't even notice it. But I'm like, that's like people bag on 40K for having some ridiculous naming schemes. That's even worse because it's like you might as well say I am of Clan Vajayjay. Like like what the fuck? And by the way, I'm not under the impression, just as to say it in all fairness, I don't think that Carcharodon's Astra is a clever name either. It just means space shark. like, I'm like Astra Militarum is just space military. Like I'm not under the impression that it's clever. So it's
Right.
just it was so on the nose. I was like, okay, fair enough. Post-apocalyptic naming conventions be weird, yo.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't start too bad, in all honesty. It comes across as being pretty grim, and that, it's kind of a sad story. The problem that I have with it is the character of Dementus, played by Chris Hemsworth. Which, by the way, I love Chris Hemsworth. I think he's a great actor. His character is really hard to take serious as a villain. Like, and the capability of him as a character is all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, 1 minute he is shockingly capable in his ability to do things. The next minute he is a complete and total fucking doofus. And there's some things that he does that don't make any fucking sense. And it makes you wonder, like, am I supposed to be laughing? Is this supposed to be a comedy? Because up to this point, you've been trying to portray it as, like, really grim. Because one thing that they do, and this is actually something that annoyed me about the movie. You know how the soundtrack, the score in Fury Road is really high energy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Furiosa, it's not. It's really down. It's really down paced. You know, even during like the heavy action scenes, it's very down paced and kind of somber, and it's like, why? So it's a for a movie with so much action, it feels so low energy because of it. They also decided to go with minimalist dialogue. The thing about minimalist dialogue is that it's really hard to basically put together like when you're having characters grow together, it's very hard to do so because what you need to do is the actions need to, show a gradual growth. The problem is that the movie takes place over like a, let's say, 15-year time period, and they time skip a few times, and part of that time skip was when Furiosa's love interest and her were growing closer to one another, and it's like, well, how am I supposed to be invested in this relationship between the two of them? Because all I know about the other guy is I think I know his name, and I know he's an imperator like Furiosa, and that he's a decently capable fighter. Like, that's it. That's all I know about the guy. Like, I have no investment in him. It's the same thing with Dementus. As a villain, like, he comes across as a goof. and as kind of like barely hanging on to things, and yet at the same time I'm supposed to buy that he's a big threat too, and it's like the two are kind of exclusive to one another, you know.
Yeah.
Like he just doesn't seem competent, and it's they tried to use a combination with him of both incompetence and ambition, which is not really that interesting of a combination, because it just makes you a persistent fuck up, basically.
Oh yeah.
The other thing about it is they kind of toned down the over-the-top style of Fury Road. Because the great thing about Fury Road is that it has such great aesthetics. It is a cool as fuck looking movie with... the whole movie is a chase scene. All of it, from front to back. It's great. And the visuals of everything look awesome. But they're also appropriately grim, because this is post-apocalypse. So the thing about it is that, like, I have a hard time, because Furiosa also barely talks during the course of it. Like, I have a hard time really getting invested in the character.
Oh yeah.
You know? Because in Fury Road, you're not really invested in Furiosa as a character, because her journey is locked to the same journey as everybody else. So you don't really get invested, because you don't have a whole lot of time. You don't really get invested in her. You get invested in the party. You know, it's kind of like an RPG party. And you just didn't focus enough on your protagonists. But it's kind of okay, because we all know who Mad Max is. It just works. And you know what they're trying to do is very valiant, so it's easy for the audience to get hooked in and to identify with it. Whereas her mission in this is a lot more selfish. She's just trying to get to the green place by herself.
Yep.
And it keeps getting thwarted. So I really wish that that honestly it had been a little longer, because it's shockingly short. And yet, like, at points it kind of drags too. Like, the pacing is really weird as well. And Leonardo Juan brings up plot hole. Probably not what he was asking about. I wouldn't consider it a plot hole. What is a plot hole is Mad Max having a cameo. And apparently being the one who took Furiosa back to the Citadel when she lost her arm.
That... Huh?
Yeah, that's a plot hole. Because how the fuck did they get... How did they get there? You know, and how did he not recognize her? You know? Because he saw her as an adult. And when you see Max, he has short hair, so it would have been before Thunderdome when this happened. Which I guess maybe makes sense. I don't know. Shadower asks, is it okay to put fake gods in fiction? Yes. Because they're not real. Anyway, back on topic. The fact is that, like, with the movie, it just feels, it's very inconsistent. The composition of some of the scenes is the weakest that I've ever seen from George Miller. There's one scene in particular where there's, like, negotiations about supplies going to Gastown, and it just, it's very weird because, you know, like, the conversations are so silly that I can't really take these like serious. Whereas in Fury Road there was not a lot of silly going on. Like, it was over the top, yes, and that was it. Because if you add silly onto that, you just turn it into a comedy, and I don't think that's what they wanted. So they have a scene in it that honestly feels like something from a comedy. And you're just sitting there watching it like, why are we doing it like this?
Who knows?
For example, in one scene, that scene I keep griping about, Dementus has pulled back a giant spike that is spring-loaded. If he lets the handle go, the spike goes forward and kills the guy by, you know, traveling through the back of his skull and out the front of his skull, right?
Yeah.
So he's holding that, but for some reason, he has a nose ring and 2 nipple rings attached to the spring handle. So basically, if it flies forward, he's going to get his nipples torn off, which is what happens in it. And I sit there and I go, so you're telling me that this guy is so fucking retarded that he actually did that and thought it was a good idea? He's not a credible threat anymore. Because he's so fucking stupid. Like, parts of that scene, I genuinely think you could set to fucking, like, The Entertainer. You know, yeah, it's like, bleh? So, not to mention, like, I think the worst part about it is that in some cases, Dementus honestly just feels like your typical Aussie. He really does. He just feels and sounds like your typical bogan, you know? Like that, like, he doesn't, because, like, you think of Immortan Joe. Very over the top, yes, but he commanded every scene he was in. You know? Even when he's sitting his fat ass in a car, he's telling Nux, you know, when there's that whole thing, Nux is like, am I awaited? And he's like, if you succeed, I will personally carry you to Valhalla, where you will ride eternal, shiny in chrome. And it's this big moment. And Immortan Joe, literally, as he is saying that, between the way he speaks, his mannerisms, in his body language, because you can't see Joe's mouth at all in the whole thing. But through his eyes, and how he emotes, and the gentleness as he sprays the aerosol across Nux's face, he feels like a king. And it's like you get this feeling like we're dealing with a very tough cult of personality here. It sells it amazingly. With Dementus, like, for him to be the target of revenge, it feels so underwhelming.
Yeah.
So
I could see that.
It's kind of unfortunate because I really am not a fan of that kind of writing. Like, I want villains to be menacing. And it just it does not hit.
What it sounds like, unfortunately, is like the actions just don't match the minimalist writing, because if you're going to go for minimalist, you have to make it up somewhere else.
Pretty much. And what really gets me is that he cast Anya Taylor-Joy as Furiosa. Another actress I like, by the way. She was great in The Northman. She was awesome in The Witch. But I'm not of the opinion that Anya Taylor-Joy's good at playing a stoic, which is what Furiosa kind of is. she can get a very intense look in her eyes, but that's all she does. Like, there's not a whole lot of variation. It's just, I'm looking at you intensely, or I'm not looking at you at all. There's not a lot of in between. And because she is such a talented actress, it feels like a waste. You know? It's just not that good. Like, I feel like it could have been great. You know? Because all they really needed to do is just give us more Fury Road. Like, that's it. Like, just have it be, like, a balls-to-the-wall revenge story with Furiosa as a prequel to Mad Max. You know, and really portray this chick as a really a badass lady that is dealing with a force that feels insurmountable. But she has to do it because the motherfucker killed her mom. You know, like, that sort of thing I dig. Because there are parts at the end of it that, like, there's a monologue that Dementis gives where he talks about the fact that, like, you know, like, he's like, I completely understand why you want revenge. Because people killed, during the Wasteland, the whole thing, people killed my wife and daughters. Plural. And he's like, ever since then, I've felt fucking empty. And he's effectively mocking her for wanting revenge because he's basically, he has been where she's at. And he knows it doesn't go anywhere. And he's always felt empty. And that's why he does the things that he does and why he ruins people and why he wants control over everything. You know, like, that was a good scene. It just was... It was one of those things, man, where I really felt like just the whole thing got lost in the sauce. And it was really unfortunate. Which, again, it sucks because the casting is great. It was just really, really good casting. The cinematography is good. The use of camera angles. There are a couple of one-er shots, like long shots, that had to have been done either on a helicopter or a drone that are excellent. Because the flow of the driving that's going on and how the camera follows the vehicle is excellent. I loved it. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. It's too bad the soundtrack sucks. Because if you had that music from Fury Road during some of the chase scenes in this, that just going and the drums going and shit like that, it would have been awesome. Right. It's like, I would have been in it. I would have been like, oh god, I would have been so much more invested. It's so low energy. And it's really weird for a Mad Max story to be low energy. You know? Because, like, a lot of people don't like Thunderdome, which, understandable. But it's a pretty high energy thing. And, and the other thing I was going to say with the villains is, like, all the other Mad Max villains that, like, you remember. Because I don't remember the main villain of Thunderdome. It's been a long time since I've watched it. But I remember Toe Cutter from the original film.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And, of course, everybody... And then everyone remembers Humongous. Just walk away. Just walk away. Don't waste your life. Just walk away. Everybody remembers Lord Humongous. The Ayatollah of rock and rolla! Like, everybody remembers that. And it's hard not to forget the guy, because he's this huge muscle dude in a fucking hockey mask that's, like, dealing with radiation poisoning or some shit. Like, it's fucking dope, you know? And Immortan Joe was just as memorable. Again, because of the aesthetics of him, he has a look that, like, it's very hard to forget. That's sort of in the same way that with Humongous. Because Humongous was a dude who came out just ripped as fuck, wearing... He effectively ripped off Demolition's outfit from WWE.
Yep.
You know, and then just put on a hockey mask. You know? But it was a very distinctive look. You knew who he was. You know, and with Immortan Joe, it's the same way. Dementis, they kind of get it, but even then, it's just not, because of his mannerisms and the silliness. He just doesn't hit, and it sucks because, man, there's some parts of it that when they actually let him be menacing, he's great, because Chris Hemsworth is such a presence. Because he's a huge guy. You know? Like, I don't know how tall he actually is. He might be short. Let me look this up. So he's as tall as I am. So he's a big dude then. So every scene that he's like looming over you, you feel it because he's just a big dude. And he's obviously ripped out of his fucking gourd. So he looks like an intimidating guy, even with the fake Jew nose that they give him, basically. The nose looks so stupid. Look up a picture. Just look up Chris Hemsworth Furiosa nose. And you're going to look at it and go, what the fuck is that thing on his face? Like, seriously. I'm gonna show everybody what I mean by the fucking schnoz. It looks so fucking stupid. Look at that fucking honker. Like what the he looks like Triple H, doesn't he? Am I alone in this thought? I don't think Brain has seen it yet.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, I'll send you the image that I have on screen right now. Like, he looks like Triple H with the nose. Like, it's kind of funny.
It's a fake fucking schnoz. Holy shit.
It's a very fake nose. Like,
what the fuck is that?
Yeah, exactly. He literally, like, his nose they made it as big as Triple H's. Like, when I show you guys what I mean, so here's Triple H. Here's Chris Hemsworth as Dementis. They have the same nose. they just made him Triple H. But not as intimidating, oddly enough, which is hilarious to me. But the nose is so fucking distracting, man. So I'm gonna leave it up there while I keep ranting. Just the absolute unbridled goofiness, like them having that just kind of, it just bugged me. The other thing is, like, there's other things about him that they get, like having the long hair and the long beard is cool. I love that he start calling himself the Red Dementis. He just fired a flare at the ground and let all the dust kick up in his face and his hair, and he rubbed it in, and it actually gives him a cool aesthetic later in the movie. There's that, and he has like a red cape, and I shit you not, he has a chariot pulled by Harley Davidsons. That's fucking cool. Like, I saw that, I'm like, that's an awesome idea. There's no way you could actually make that work, but it's still cool. I do not mind rule of cool in movies like this, because Mad Max has always been fucking absurd.
Yeah.
So, Batzilla puts it right. It looks like if you asked someone to draw a stereotypical Jew, you'd get that. Yeah, it's like they gave him the greedy merchant nose.
Jesus Christ.
You know, it's like, Jesus, what the fuck? So, so regardless, like, I don't know, man. It's such an inconsistent film. And it's unfortunate because it just felt like it could have been so good. And I think that's part of the reason why it didn't succeed is Fury Road did not get, from what I remember, people started really talking about it the week after it came out.
Oh yeah, that's when all the YouTube shorts that everybody by proxy came out.
Yeah, because it was just this thing where people couldn't stop talking about how fucking crazy it was. People are like, what the... They're like, dude, there's a truck, right? And on the back of it are 4 drummers hitting toms with this rhythm on, and then they've got this Devin Townsend looking motherfucker with a dual guitar with a goddamn flamethrower playing it while they drive. It's fucking awesome. And they call him the Doof Warrior for some goddamn reason. It's stupid, but it's hilarious and it's awesome. Yeah. Like that's the vibe, and it's one of those things where I'm starting to think that movie might have been lightning in a bottle.
Well, yeah. First off, it came out. It was lucky enough to precede everything having to be safe. It also came out when George Miller had 1 more ounce of giving a fuck.
Yeah. Funnily enough, though, on that point, is he kind of didn't give a fuck either. But I'll let you finish.
I was about to say, in point 3 is that he wasn't forced to focus on a character who had 0 characterization.
Yeah. Like, and what I mean by he didn't give a fuck, like, he was just like, I'm going to just make the craziest ass Mad Max movie I could make. I'm just going to make it fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
And we'll just see what happens. And he did, and it was awesome. And then with this one, he tried to be a little bit more like art film with it, and it just falls flat.
But we already have the art film Mad Max film. That's the first Mad Max film.
Yeah. The one he did on a shoestring budget, where I'm pretty sure the most expensive thing was Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's Mel Gibson.
Maybe the explosion at the end. It's a tie between the two.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I would absolutely love... George Miller's getting up there in years. I don't know if he's going to make another movie after this one. If he did, I am begging you, George, do Old Man Max.
Yeah.
Give us a last hurrah with Mel Gibson. I like Tom Hardy as Max Rockatansky too, but Mel Gibson is an amazing actor. Like, I would honestly say top 20 actors of all time is Mel Gibson. He's fucking fantastic. I don't... I've seen so many of his movies, I can't think of any that I didn't enjoy. Like, in regards to his acting. He's just really fucking good at it. God put Mel Gibson on Earth to be an actor. Period, point blank. I watched a movie with him in it recently called Dragged Across Concrete. It is one of the most grim, dark crime stories I've ever seen that actually portrays European gangsters accurately. And it's got Mel Gibson. It's got who else was in it? Hold on a second. It's got Mel Gibson. It's got Vince Vaughn. It's got Michael Jai White in it. And they're all awesome in it too. So, but yeah, I'm a big fan of Mel Gibson. I would love to see that. But yeah, I'm just not really a fan of like the way that this movie turned out, man. It's like it really just needed to stick with the high energy, you know, and the familiarity that you have from Fury Road. And yeah, you're selling the movie on the member berries, and maybe you didn't want that, but I'm sorry, dude, that's the only way people were going to go to the theaters for it. It also didn't help that they didn't have the star power, honestly.
Yep.
To really get people in the theaters. I like Chris Hemsworth, as I have said over and over again. I really like Anya Taylor-Joy, too. They're both very good at what they do. But I don't think that they're, like, big box office draws yet. Tom Hardy at the time was, because he was everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And he was, like, people loved him. Because I think that, what was the biggest movie he had done before that? He played Bane, if I remember right.
I think you might be right. Either that, it was Bronson.
Oh, Bronson, I think he did like before Warrior. Let me have a look.
I'm actually looking at his filmography right now.
Hard to believe he's 47.
Right? I didn't even know he was. I didn't even remember. I forgot that he was even in Black Hawk Down.
Yeah, very briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did Dark Knight Rises. God, Dark Knight Rises was in 2012. Oh my God. But he did Dark Knight Rises, and then he did Fury Road not long after that.
Yeah.
So he was still riding high off of being Bane. And then he was also in Inception as well.
All right.
So he had a lot of exposure around that time. But you know, he was starting to gain his star power. Thought it was Carl Urban in Black Hawk Down. Carl Urban might have been in it as well. Let's have a look. When you look at the cast of Black Hawk Down, you're surprised at who's in it.
I'm not seeing anything for Carl Urban.
So, like, whenever I look at this, like, Tom Hardy, for those who have seen Black Hawk Down, Tom Hardy plays the guy who gets the saw fired right next to his ear and goes deaf. That's Tom Hardy. It's hard to think of it because he's so fucking skinny, and now he's so buff. But that was Tom Hardy. Who else is one that'll surprise you in that one? Jason Isaacs is in it. Tom Sizemore, Ewan Bremer, Hugh Dancy is in it. Eoin Grufford is in that movie. Yep. Very briefly. The guy who originally played Reed Richards. Orlando Bloom is in that movie. He falls out of a helicopter. Thought that was the dude from Trainspotting. No, Ewan McGregor's in it too, and he plays a different character. Who did he play in that? He played Grimes in Black Hawk Down. So he was Josh Hartnett's character's right-hand man in that movie. So yeah, you'd be surprised at who's in that. And then Eric Bana is in it too. So is Sam Shepard. Kim Coates is in it because Kim Coates is in everything. So Some of you might remember Kim Coates as Tig from Sons of Anarchy. He gets blown in half in that movie. And Jeremy Piven is even in that movie. He's one of the helicopter pilots, if I remember right.
Yep.
Like, the cast of Black Hawk Down is kind of insane. In a good way.
Yes.
Great movie. But that's a Ridley Scott film. And I love me some Ridley Scott. But anyway, so yeah, I'm just kind of bummed that Furiosa was such a letdown, man. I was actually kind of hoping it was going to be like an underrated gem. That might have been just every once in a while you get one of those movies. There's a lot of budget put behind it, and there's a lot of hype behind it because the director is super stoked about getting to do it. But and then the movie, it just doesn't catch for whatever reason. But it's still really good. This just wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
Why do we have Delta and Rangers in Somalia? Because they pulled their Marines out too early. At least that's what all my Marine friends would say from high school.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, like, most of my friends from high school went into the Marine Corps. Except for one, my friend John. He was Army. I don't remember where he was at. He, actually, wait, no. My friend, I have another friend named Jeremy. He was Army as well. He was infantry. During the War on Terror. But my other friends from high school, they went into the Marine Corps. But yeah, that's what they would tell you, is that because they pulled the Marines out too early. But no, the whole thing with the actions in Somalia, like, it's, if you watch Black Hawk Down, it's pretty blunt that it's a political clusterfuck because Bill Clinton had no fucking clue what he was doing. And I'm not going to get too deep into politics, but that's basically the long and short of it. When it came to the military and management of military, he just was not the guy. He really wasn't. And granted, we have not had a president that was that guy for a long time. You know, Trump was pretty good with it, though, all things considered. He at least was able to ask people, where do we need to focus, and he knew who to ask, you know.
I might have to subscribe to Prime Video now.
Why is that?
They just put up MXC on there. That shit used to be the funniest shit ever.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah. That horrible fucking, that intentionally horrible dub of fucking Takeshi's Castle. Oh my god, it was great.
It's so good. It's so good. Oh man.
Oh, that was just about the only thing I would watch on Spike for years. God,
yeah, that and The Ultimate Fighter were the only two things I watched.
Yep.
Though, to give them some credit, they were trying. I will give Spike credit, they tried.
Yep.
Like, 1,000 Ways to Die was kind of interesting.
Yes.
For like a season. And it's like, God bless them. They're giving it a shot. They're trying to come up with interesting ideas.
And Ron Perlman narrating the whole show was fucking awesome.
Yes. Yes, it was.
The one show I really didn't like on Spike was Mansers. Everybody, when I was in high school, everybody fucking... This is the stupidest shit I've ever seen.
I don't even remember it. It was that dumb. I found myself watching a lot more Comedy Central around that time period.
Yeah.
Because that was around the time like Dave Chappelle got really hot. You had The Man Show.
Yep.
which Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel had great chemistry together.
Oh yeah.
And some of the skits were actually really memorable. People give Jimmy Kimmel shit for the Karl Malone one because he was in blackface, which, by the way, anytime that Jimmy Kimmel acts self-righteous, I think people should absolutely remind him of that. With that said, the Karl Malone segments were fucking hilarious. Which, admittedly, from what I understand, the reason that they did it was because nobody liked the Utah Jazz on their production team, because they were all Lakers fans. Why would they?
God.
So they would just make fun of Karl Malone. When in reality, Karl Malone's a really smart guy. So, and they weren't going to make fun of Michael Jordan because then nobody would watch the fucking show.
Right.
Michael Jordan was the most popular basketball player ever. And unlike LeBron, he was the best. But anyway,
Jesus Christ, that's right. Leo's right. I forgot. Afro Samurai was the first anime air on Spike.
it was.
Yeah.
And it was, at least all the gore was uncensored too.
Yep.
But who I really feel bad for with the whole man show thing is the final season of it, where Joe Rogan and Doug Stanhope had to take over. And Joe Rogan is a good choice for that. Doug Stanhope is not.
Yeah.
Doug Stanhope is like, his whole gimmick is depression. So having him like be on a show called The Man Show, which is supposed to be a little bit more high energy, didn't really work. And Doug Stanhope and Joe Rogan, I feel, could have great chemistry in other places because they're such good friends, but it just wasn't clicking there. You know, I feel like they needed somebody else to kind of balance, like, to keep the energy high. I don't know who. You know, it's not like they were going to get Dave Attell in there because Dave Attell had his own show at the time. And then, actually, you want to know who I would have paid to see be the other host of The Man Show with Joe Rogan, just to see what would happen?
Who?
Dave Chappelle.
That would have been amazing because Dave Chappelle. Holy shit.
Yeah, Chappelle wouldn't give a fuck. it would be
today still doesn't really give too much of a shit, but back then, oh my god.
Yeah. But then we would have never gotten Chappelle's show, and that would have just been wrong. Chappelle's show is still the funniest, probably the funniest sketch comedy show ever to exist.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was just so clever. Just like, and the segments live on in memes today. For example, 2 words: Clayton Bigsby. Everybody immediately knows what I'm talking about when I say those 2 words. Everybody knows. Another one: Tupac's "I'm Totally Dead" rap. When they're in the club, and he starts saying a bunch of stuff that's way too specific. But the chorus is like, "I wrote this song a long time ago. A really long time ago." You just sit there like, oh my god. It's so good.
Oh, shit. Or even Tyrone the Crackhead. Like, he still makes the rounds as, like, an image, bro.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Y'all got, like, the most popular one I've ever seen was the optimizations for games that are just, like, dog shit.
Yeah. And obviously the best one is Rick James.
Oh yeah. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
It's so good. I still reference in the Gundam videos I do. I reference Chappelle's show more often than not. Like, just about any time somebody gets slapped, like I usually say, They find out what the five fingers said to the face.
When keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah, that was another great one.
Shit.
I feel like Chappelle's show, like, if it made a comeback on Netflix, it would probably be godlike.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because he's making fun of Jussie Smollett.
Please. I need to see that.
So, that whole... You see, black people didn't defend him because we knew he was lying. I'm giving a PG-13 version of the joke, but it hits so perfectly.
Right?
It's just like, oh my God. Because it's actually kind of true. I got another... the funny thing is I worked with another guy named Micah when I was in security.
Mm-hmm.
During that time, and he was like, yeah, that didn't happen, because he's from Chicago, I'm from the Chicago area. MAGA hats at 2 a.m, really? Fuck off.
Is open at 2 a.m.
There are some in Chicago.
Fair enough, but it's also Chicago. Like, yeah,
it was 0 degrees out though.
It is.
Like,
yeah.
here's my thing.
During that record low where I think during the day it was reaching like below like 30, I want to say.
13, I think. And it's like, look, I love me a chicken bacon ranch from Subway with lettuce and tomato, but it ain't that good.
Yeah, it ain't braving negative 13 degrees good.
Yeah, I'm getting somebody to deliver that shit. So yeah, but gosh, it's so wild how hot Comedy Central was at the time, and now it's like nothing is funny. Like, it sucks so bad. It's like so much is just not funny.
South Park and all this, I've got to be honest. Even I feel like South Park has been missing a hell of a lot more than they've been hitting these days.
Yeah, I watched a little bit from like the Donald Trump years. And there were some of the jokes I thought were funny. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't like any major news network. So if you're making fun of them, I'm probably all there for it. Because they were basically making fun of Fox News for sweeping for Trump, and it's like, yeah, they do that. Like, it's what they do. They toe the party line. It's to be expected.
Man, buckle up, buckaroos.
Oh, God! That was so good. Though my favorite... I know that you're not the biggest fan of Tegrity Farms, and admittedly, Tegrity Farms is kind of a low point for the show, but the metal concert...
Oh, that was great. Band in China.
That is so fucking good.
Right?
Just fucking death metal out of nowhere. I'm like... Yeah!
telling the whole world to fuck off, too. It was great.
Oh, it was so good.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man. It was good.
My problem with Tegrity Farms was really just because it made Randy the main character. He works great as a B-plot character, not A-plot.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I never really thought Randy was that funny. Like... It's funny when bad things happen to him as a result of something the boys did. It's the same thing as like if you tried to make Kenny's dad the main character, Because Kenny's like, what is the one thing everybody remembers about Kenny's dad? It's the pregnancy episode.
Yeah.
Like, he just has the worst fucking day. It exists, the worst week or month or whatever in existence. Just, good lord, like, him getting waffled right in the balls with a fucking softball. Like, oh, I felt that. Like, Jesus. And just the look of rage on Kenny's face right before he throws it is just so great. He just wants to fucking kill him. It's like, good
That was
lord.
great.
Oh, man. But, Randy saying the N-word was hilarious. Well, that whole episode was basically to make fun of, what was it, Michael Scott is his name? Played Kramer?
Yes.
Like, that was just to make fun of him, basically. Like, the whole thing, the N-word guy. It's just... It's like, oh my god! Like, yes, this is great!
Or that one episode that they just spent 30 minutes they spent 30 minutes to make to build up one fucking joke to make fun of both Katie Couric and Bono.
Yes.
That was great. My dad and I still quote that episode to each other.
Then they did it to Bono again.
Yeah.
With the big piece of shit episode.
Yeah. That was the one I was talking about because, like...
Oh, that was the same one? I didn't even remember.
The unit for how heavy a turd is a Katie Couric.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Like, that one was brutal. I'm like, god damn. And the funny thing about it is, like, it's not like Bono's a bad guy. It's just they get so sick of hearing about him that they just wanted to roast his ass. I'm like, well, fair enough. Like, all right, man. Fuck him, I guess. Oh,
fuck.
Though the one thing that I really absolutely need to watch more of is the Boondocks.
Oh my god, yes.
Because I'm gonna say the quiet part out loud. The reason that white people love the Boondocks is because it says the quiet part out loud.
Yes.
Like, it really does. Like, the N-word moment. It's kind of one of those things where, like, we've all had. I feel like every white guy that lives around black people gets at one point or another will have that black friend that has a bad temper, and he has the N-word moment.
Yep.
And you just look at it and you go, dude, really? Like, is this really worth getting that pissed about? Come on, come on, man. Like, Jesus. Stop. We'll get ice cream. It's gonna be okay. But
man, both Stink Meaner episodes are fucking fantastic.
Oh my god. Anytime Uncle Ruckus shows up.
I saw a clip of an episode that I hadn't seen before, and I was.
When he is panicked, he may start to do unreasonable things and strange things. He may start to dance. He may begin to rap.
The moment I was thinking of a country singer, it's just nothing slur after slur that slur. And I'm like, Adult Swim allowed this back in the day, uncensored.
Oh yeah. The exorcism will always be peak though. It's just so good.
Yeah.
Just the my name is Reverend Father Uncle Ruckus. No relation. And God, these things will scare the man. I'm obviously not going to drop the N-word here. These things will scare him. A whip. What was the other one?
A whip, a and a job application.
A book. A nightstick. These things strike fear in the blank heart. A job application. And it's just like, oh no! Like, come on, man! like, like, like you're killing me here, dude. Like, you're making me feel bad for laughing. I'm like, what? It's just, it's so ridiculous. And then the other episode I've seen is the one where Huey watches BET for 24 hours, and he just shuts it off and goes to bed because his soul fucking died. It's just like, god damn. And by the way, for a time, the Boondocks aired on BET.
Oh, Aaron Magruder fucking hated that too. Which led into that excellent episode where he just turns the chair of BET into Dr. Evil.
Pretty much, yeah. Uncle Ruckus was inspired by Larry Elder. That's hilarious. Because it's such an exaggeration. Because it's one of those things where it's like, this is something that I talked to a friend of mine, another black friend of mine, who is a hard lefty. Well, not a hard lefty, but lefty. You know, again, he's also from Chicago. Go figure. And one time he was complaining about Larry Elder when we were driving around on patrol. And at one point I looked at him and I said, dude, you say all the same things about black people that Larry Elder says about black people. And he looks at me for a second and he goes, no, I don't. I'm like, yes, you do. And I said, how many times have I listened to you rant while we're eating lunch about lazy black people who do not work for a living when you're working your ass off for your wife and your 2 kids? How many times have I heard that rant? And he just looks at me and he goes, damn, you right. And I'm like, it's what I do. I'm your Jew friend. That's what the tribe does for people. But it's one of those things where it's like that's just kind of funny to me, because you also know, like, just that, again, there's always that one black dude that just hates other black people. It's just so funny. Because that was like a whole routine that Chris Rock did during one of his shows, if I remember right.
Oh my god!
It was something like, all the stuff that white people don't like about black people really don't like about black people.
Yeah, it was like, who's more racist, white people or black people? Black people, because we don't like black people either.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, it kind of comes around to, like, that's kind of why I'm glad that I initially grew up in the Chicago area. Is, like, like, when you live next to somebody, you just stop caring about what they look like and you care about the type of person they are. Yeah. And it's just it's so much easier just to get along with people than not. And I really, really just enjoy doing that instead. I just don't. It really annoys me when people start giving a shit about ethnicity, and it just kind of tells me that you've never lived around anybody that's different than you, and you're kind of a pansy. You're just blaming everybody else for your own shit. It's like, figure it out, dude. Figure your fucking life out. Stop being such a bitch.
Yep.
I remember one moment. When I was working as a manager, we had some dudes who had immigrated from Mexico that worked there. And we were having we were having a cookout, or it was like our Christmas cookout. that we had, and they had brought these awesome tamales, and they were talking a bunch of stuff, and I caught one of them making fun of my weight, but it was in Spanish, and I just walked by him and I go, "Yo soy español," and he just looked at me with this look of absolute horror, just like, oh God, my boss actually speaks Spanish.
Oh.
And he looked at me. He's like, "Oh no." I'm like, I don't speak that much. I know when somebody's calling me fat in Spanish, and I know when somebody's calling me ugly. I'm like, if you're gonna make fun of me, be more clever. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I didn't care. It wasn't that. I had been putting on weight anyway, but it's just one of those things, man, where I just like. I kind of realized that there at a point in my life, I was kind of becoming the Uncle Ruckus of white people. You know? Like, take a wild guess what the one thing I missed during the summertime when I was living around a bunch of fucking white people after living in Chicago for as long as I did.
The barbecue?
Yeah, the cookouts! For those wondering, I get invited to the cookout. I don't have the pass for a certain word, but I have the cookout pass, which is better.
Yep.
Because I will tell you this right now. Most of a lot of the black folk from around the area of Chicago I lived in, they were like a couple generations removed from having, like, their grandparents were from Louisiana. And they picked up all the ways you cook with Louisiana cooking. Holy crap. The cookouts were awesome. Best fried chicken I ever ate. Like, still to this day. And then if they weren't making home fried chicken, they were just ordering from Popeyes. Popeyes is so good. KFC ain't bad, but Popeyes is the shit.
Popeyes much better. I agree.
Like, imagine like being in Chicago, getting Popeyes on the regular, and then you move down south, and there ain't one anywhere like within 100 miles. That's bullshit. So imagine, like, because the thing is, like, the church that we went to was primarily 3 people groups. It was white people, black people, Mexican people. Pretty much, that's it. And it was, like, so imagine how good the fucking potlucks were at church. Like, seriously, like, the most variety you could ever ask for in a potluck, bam, right there. It was great. And the, how good is church's fried chicken's okay. I've never been that big on it. But then again, I have not had it in a long time either. But, it's just one of those things, man, where it's like, that's kind of the one thing I miss about Chicago. But the sad thing about it is that Chicago is long gone.
Yep.
You know, because that was the 90s. You know, like, in the 90s, like, we had people doing the fucking hammer dance in my elementary school. It was awesome. It was kind of hilarious, but it was also awesome. Yep. We were all quoting the Ninja Turtles movie because that came out at the time too. A Jose Canseco bet. Tell me you didn't pay money for this. Cricket. Look, you got to know what a crumpet is to understand cricket. A wise man once said, never pay full price for late pizza.
Oh, yeah. or my personal favorite, or that fucking crazy ass music tour they did with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles characters. Especially
Yeah.
when that fucking evil fucking joke that they did on the Oprah Winfrey show.
Was
You know
that
what I'm
Oprah?
talking about?
I thought that was Arsenio Hall.
No, that was Oprah Winfrey.
Where he's like, "What's so special about your dad?"
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's Arsenio Hall. Let me
No,
check.
that's Oprah Winfrey.
Let me have a look. It was. You're right. It was Oprah. The single most uncomfortable moment in TMNT. Let's watch this together real quick. I have not watched this in a while. This shit's glorious.
Guys, let me ask you this. Do you sometimes wish that April was a turtle?
Whoa, definitely.
Conceptually, that works for me.
You know, I've been trying Where you going? Oprah.
Man, I cracked myself up.
Oprah, I've been trying to talk her into an interspecies relationships for months now.
She won't do it,
She
huh?
can't hold her breath.
No, she can't do it.
The biggest problem is she can't hold her breath long enough, you know?
Oh my god.
Well, okay, coming up, the turtles are going to perform
The kids, the look on the kid's face. just Cause that was all of us. It's like, what the fuck? He's so fucking unhinged. And then that's not even the craziest one. Where's the where's the one about your dad?
Oh man.
Okay, so this one could best be described as Raphael saying, "I'm about to end this kid's whole career."
What's so special about Splinter?
Yo, dude, it's like Splinter's our dad, you know? I mean, what's so special about your dad?
Coming.
They had to cut away from the fucking answer. What's so special about your dad? Huh? My dad's a martial artist. What's yours, a fucking bricklayer? Your dad sucks!
Oh man.
Oh my god. Oh. Folks, I want you to understand something. The 90s were awesome.
Yeah.
The 90s were awesome. Oh. I legitimately believe I might have grown up in the best time to have been a kid. Like, holy shit. Like, it was so good. Oh man. That is just so fucking brutal. Oh. I don't know why I thought that was on Arsenio Hall. That kind of would have made that for some reason that made sense to me. Arsenio Hall just like that was the talk show for those who don't know.
Yeah.
So like it would be more like that's who you would think would have something cool like that. God, but yeah, that was a wild time to live in Chicago. Great time to live in Chicago. I mean, at the time, the White Sox were good. When's the last time that was a thing?
God, I think the last time they were halfway decent was back in 2005.
Yeah, pretty much.
I remember that because I think that was the same year that they actually series.
Yeah.
I think that was the last time they did. I remember that because the Cubs was dealing with Sosa corking his fucking bats.
Yes. And then The big thing, though, during that time period, doubles. Doubles. No, that was the last time basketball was interesting for me.
Right.
Like, watching Michael Jordan play basketball is like watching watching Leonardo da Vinci paint. Like, he's such an artist. He's so fucking good. People try to tell me LeBron is so great. LeBron is not great. He's okay.
No.
He's good. He's one of the best players in the league. He's never been the best in the league because he's never been able to.
Even both Shaq and Kobe ran circles on current record.
Oh yeah,
it's just how it is.
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
Go ahead.
Like that Bulls team, both Bulls teams, the first and second three-peat, were amazing to watch. Like that 72-10 season. Oddly enough, like my dad still has the T-shirt that they were selling from that time period. 'Cause man alive, like that was a great time.
Oh,
Not to mention, a lot of people tend to neglect that a lot of the other greatest players of all time, Michael Jordan was beating the pants off of during that time period.
Oh yeah.
The amount of like amazing players in the NBA was insane. Because you have to think about this. The Dream Team and the second Dream Team. The first Dream Team Michael was on. He was not on the second one. They won the gold medal both times. Dominated every other country in basketball. Just annihilated them. It was not even fair. And Michael Jordan would then go out on the court and almost always play somebody he played with on one of those teams. And would make them look like they didn't even belong on the same court as him. That is unreal skill.
Oh, yeah.
We have never seen a basketball player like him since. Because the fact of the matter is, for LeBron James to finally win a championship, they had to buy a proper team for him to win it with. Sorry, it's just how it is. But yeah, that was a heck of a time. What was the other crazy shit going on in the 90s? Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah.
Mortal Kombat was huge.
The game that arguably single-handedly led to the founding of B.
Yep. Funnily enough, my mother was one of those people that was initially very against gore in video games.
Mm-hmm.
She bought me Mortal Kombat 2 for the SNES. I'm like, what? I was happy. Don't get me wrong, I was very happy. But that was wild. That was around the time the first person shooters, because Boss brings up Doom. Marathon as well. I played Marathon.
Marathon, Quake, Wolfenstein all got their start in the 90s.
I actually messaged my oldest cousin not too long ago that I told him I actually found a way to play Marathon on my PC. And he's like, you're kidding me. He's like, I haven't played that since college. And I said, yeah. I just watched a YouTuber do a video about it, and I just remember the last time I played it was when you were in college.
Oh God, yeah. For a brief moment in time, and what people that do was how
Satanic Panic was around the 90s, wasn't it? Yeah, that was part of it.
Yep. That to me is just the most wild part about the 90s, is that for a brief moment, from I want to say from 96 to 98, Duke Nukem was a household name. Hello?
Yep, you're still good. I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Duke Nukem was a household name. Doom was a household name.
Yep.
I mean, granted, it might still be.
Doom still absolutely is, but
not Duke, sadly.
No. Well, thanks, Randy.
Yeah. What else wild happened around that time? The Monday Night Wars.
Oh yeah.
That was another one. That was a great time to be a wrestling fan. I was a WCW kid, believe it or not.
Yeah, I was about to say at one point it's kind of hard. At one point, you have to understand WCW was close to beating WWE into fucking paste.
Oh yeah, and it was so good.
Yeah,
like Diamond Dallas Page was my guy. Him and Sting.
Yep.
And then as time went on,
what Dallas is doing with DDP Yoga is fucking insane.
Yeah, I actually have the DVDs for that. I think I'm gonna try them out sometime to kind of see if it'll help me get my back in shape, get it back in order. But yeah, that was a hell of a time. The ascension of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I still remember matches from WWE superstars. Like watching the Wild Man Mark Marrow. That was how I got introduced to Jake the Snake Roberts. I still remember Mark Marrow wrestling a gentleman at the time who was called Leaf Cassidy, who we all actually know as Al Snow. He was a jobber at the time. And then let's see here. I still show people Jake the Snake Roberts versus Salvatore Sincere for matches that, like, the wrestler only really needed about 3 or 4 moves to get the crowd popping. You know?
Yep.
So that was another crazy thing that went on around that time. And then the decade kind of ended out with, like, the rise of the boy band. Ugh. Oh my god, that sucked.
Yeah.
That was like... you could not stop hearing about it. Every single girl. And it was one of those things where, as a guy, you looked at that and you're like, I'm doomed.
Yeah.
They have manufactured these young men effectively to be as attractive as possible to teenage girls. How the fuck am I ever going to get a girlfriend? You know? So. Which is true. I didn't date in high school. So. Granted, high school for me was only... Well, the 90s were over. High school for me was 2000 to 2004.
Yep.
But even so, it was... I will freely admit, if I had pictures of me back then, you would probably be a little surprised as to how little my style has evolved. I wear the Uncle Micah sweater now, but what I primarily wore, black sleeveless shirts, blue jeans or cargo pants, a necklace, and I would spike my hair up. Now I don't have enough hair to spike up, but I used to do that all the fucking time. I think the difference is like the band shirts that I wear now are all like death metal bands and shit. But yeah, I had the long spiky hair. When I had the chin strap back then, it was like pencil thin, like a lot of a lot of dudes would do in bands that I would listen to. Which, by the way, I didn't have like a facial hair trimmer. I just had a razor. You have any idea how fucking long it took me to get it to the perfect amount of thickness? And then what would...
an amount of time.
Yeah. And then it would get... like a point would happen where I would fucking... I couldn't get them even with one another. So I'd just shave that part of the chin off, keep the chin hair, and just be like, fuck it. It'll grow back in a week.
Yep.
Yeah, that was an interesting time too. Here's one thing I hate to admit, but I'm going to anyway because we're on the topic. I owned the red Yankees cap.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was that lame. I listened to Limp Bizkit. And when I look back on it, the only reason I did was because it was popular. It was not good. The only song that I'm of the opinion you can play from them and I will listen to is Rollin', and it's for one reason, it's the fucking Undertaker.
Yep.
That's it. So yeah. My sophomore year is when I got into thrash metal and classic metal. That was when I started like listening to... I stopped listening to like Korn and a lot of the other like new metal bands that were really popular. So I didn't listen to Limp Bizkit anymore either. Started listening to Metallica and Megadeth and Anthrax and Slayer. Started listening to Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. Stuff like that. But I would still listen to stuff like Slipknot or who else was bigger than Static X? Still love Static X to this day.
Oh yeah.
Who else was coming out around that time? I don't, since my audience is all Zoomers. I don't think anybody remembers Spineshank or Orgy or it's another band that was around that time that a lot of people wouldn't know. Oh, God. Cold. Cold is another one that didn't last that long. They had 2 good albums, and then they kind of faded into obscurity.
Yeah.
But admittedly, I will still listen to Year of the Spider and 13 Ways to Bleed on Stage. What's another metal band new metal band from around that time? Edema. I don't think anybody's gonna remember Edema.
God.
What else did I listen to around that time? That was around the time that Mudvayne got popular, which was huge here in Illinois, because it had been a very long time since a band from Illinois got that big. Because they're from Peoria. They're not even from Chicago. They're from Peoria, which is about 45 minutes north of where I live right now. They actually, like, some of those guys used to work at the Caterpillar plant there, but they loved music so much that they wanted to do that instead. And they all, like, can you imagine a world where Ryan Martinie, the bassist from Mudvayne, is just ended up just being a dude who worked at Caterpillar his whole life? What a waste! Right. What a waste that would have been, man. Linkin Park. I listened to. I liked Hybrid Theory, and that was kind of it. I didn't like Meteora, though. Breaking the Habit's a good tune. The rest of the album I couldn't care for.
Yeah.
What else was around that time?
Too much.
That was around the time Rammstein started getting really popular.
Yep.
Oh God, that was also around the time that butt rock started to get popular, though. That was around the rise of Nickelback.
Yep.
Because I remember actually hearing the song "Leader of Men" on VH1 at 2 a.m. and be like, "Hey, this is actually pretty decent." And then it all went downhill from there.
Yep.
But yeah, that was around that time. Who else? Puddle of Mud. Do you remember Puddle of Mud?
I do.
Oh my God, Puddle of Mud. There's some other bands from around that time that fell off that I'm really kind of bummed they fell off. Seven Dust.
Yep.
Seven Dust is pretty great. Cold Chamber.
Yep.
Though Des Fafara ended up, when they broke up, he ended up starting Devil Driver. And Devil Driver's the shit.
Oh yeah.
What else was there? Cold Chamber was the other band managed by Sharon Osbourne. She managed 2 acts. Cold Chamber and Ozzy. That was it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Papa Roach was around that time too. That's another one that I regret ever listening to because it's so fucking lame when I listen to it now. Oh, Deftones was around that time. Which I don't really have a whole lot to say about the Deftones because I didn't listen to them that much.
Yeah.
I just knew the singles. I knew My Own Summer and Change in the House of Flies. And I don't remember a lot of songs outside of that. God, who else was around that time? Oh, Disturbed.
That's right. That's right.
Disturbed is another one from Illinois. They're from Chicago. I remember being the first in my friend group to hear of them. And I didn't have the internet, by the way, at the time. My family was poor because my parents had just gotten divorced. Like it was bad, so we couldn't afford the internet. But all my friends did. Like, because their parents made more money than my parents did, so they could afford it. And I remember just saying, just look up the song "Stupefy" by Disturbed, and then tell me what you thought of it tomorrow. They all loved it, and then we all bought the album. Like it was like The Sickness was great.
Oh, fuck. System of a Down.
Yeah, System of a Down around that time too.
I can't believe it took me this long to think of it.
Me and my buddies would start randomly singing shit from System of a Down songs, just to fuck with our teachers. Like at one point, when my biology teacher left the room. I saw my buddy Tim in the hallway, and he gives me the peace sign, and I just start doing the "No, mommy, don't do it again. I'll be a good boy" from Down with the Sickness, and he just starts dying laughing in the hallway because I just did it to get him to laugh. And my science teacher walks in with this look of absolute horror on her face. Like she's white as a sheet, and I'm just laughing my ass off. She's just like, "Micah, do I need to call your parents?" And I'm like, "Oh, they already know how screwed up I am." It's old news. Don't even worry about it. I'm just fooling around. At another time, like, if I would see some of them in another room, I would just pop my head in there and go, "Sugar!" And then just walk out. It's just do it to do it. It was funny.
Yeah.
But yes, System of a Down was big around that time. Me and my buddies, we all went out the night that that Toxicity came out. I used to actually have the physical CD, like, from the day it came out. What else was there? Because that was another one that we quoted from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my buddy Tim would come up and he'd put his hand on my shoulder and he'd go, "Micah, why can't you trust in my self-righteous suicide?" and then I would respond with, "Because my tapeworm tells me what to do." Which for those who don't know is an actual lyric from that album.
Yep.
Yes, there is a song by a metal band during that time period where Serj Tankian is singing the words, "Pull the tapeworm out of your ass." That's from Needles, I think, isn't it? I want to say that was around that. Yeah, that was the song Needles. Then another System of a Down album that came out later, it was was it Hypnotized that had the song Revenja on it? It also had BYOB and was that Hypnotize or Mesmerize?
Well, BOYB I thought was. I could have swore BOYB was Steal This Album.
No, that's Chicken Stew. And Intervision. But yeah, was that Mesmerize or Hypnotize? I'm gonna look this up real quick. I'm gonna pull up my spot.
Probably be Mesmerized. I just looked up the track list. Yeah, BOYB was that's In Revenge is Mesmerized.
Yeah, so I remember, like, to fuck with people because I went to a Christian college. I went and I put Cigarro on while in the shower room while I was taking a shower one time. And it's one thing to shower in a shower room where there's a bunch of other guys around, and one of the lyrics is, "My cock is that much bigger than yours. My cock can walk right through the door with a feeling so pure, it has you screaming back for more."
Yep.
Remember another time I was driving around with my girlfriend, and that song came on because we were listening to that album, and I just while those lyrics are playing, I slowly turned my head to her with this giant smile, and she goes, "Why are you smiling at me like that when the song is playing those lyrics?" I said, "Give it a couple of years, you're gonna find out." God, who else was around that time? I mentioned Slipknot, by extension Stone Sour.
Yeah.
I remember the single that they led with on Stone Sour's their first album was Bother, which is like this really depressing track about wanting to kill yourself, basically, right? And then you get the album and it's all like really fast hard rock, and you're like, this is not what I expected. I thought we were getting soulful Corey Taylor. He's like, I still want to rip your face off. I'm just not wearing a mask now. What else was there? Does anybody remember Saliva? Speaking of butt rock.
I don't.
Click, Click, Boom. Do you remember the song Click, Click, Boom?
No, I don't. Surprisingly enough.
YouTube it real quick. You'll be like, oh, it's that song. They were popular around that time. Godsmack was really popular around that time too.
Yep.
I still listen to them on occasion.
Seether, I think, got their start around that time too.
Oh God, Seether.
Yep.
The one band you listen to their album, you're like, how are you not killing yourself all the time?
Fucking right.
Drowning Pool.
Yep.
Because nobody could stop talking about the fucking song Bodies, even still to this day. Actually, what was the name of the Drowning Pool singer?
God, I don't know.
Dave Williams.
Yeah, he passed away like fairly early on into.
If you want to know what my hairstyle looked like back in high school, look up the song "Sinner" by Drowning Pool. That facial hairstyle and the hairstyle, that was basically what I looked like in high school. Pretty much. Because he's about the same size. He was about the same, a big chubby dude like me, right? So I thought it was the coolest shit. I'm like, all right, cool. Big chubby dudes could be metal as fuck as well. I'm down with this, you know? Because I wore the jorts too. I had the chain wallet, you know? It was wild going to college when you looked like that. I will tell you that right now. Because, again, I went to a Christian school. A lot of people dressed very prissy. And then you got me, spiked hair, jorts, band shirt, chain wallet, looking like I'm going to eat somebody's fucking face. You know, it's like I looked so different from everybody else. And they were like, what is going on with this guy? God, who else was around that time?
I just remember a lot of people found out about Alien cover a Smooth Criminal.
Yeah, Alien Ant Farm was around that time period too. They have 3 songs I remember. They have Smooth Criminal, they have Movies. I remember that one. And then they did that song for the Punisher game called Dark in Here. That's actually really fucking good. You can't find a high quality version of it anywhere. It's impossible. But it is an excellent song. And it was specifically for that game too. It's never been on any of their albums.
Yep.
You can't even rip it off the PC version. If you can, it's probably not high quality, but if someone wants to give it a try and gets a high quality version of it, let me know. Let me know. I will create a whole new email just to put it on YouTube for people to download.
Yep.
Like, I won't put it on my channel because that I'll get struck for it, but it's a really good song. It's like, what the fuck, really? Trying to think what else. Who else was big at the time? I remember Flaw got big around that time too. Another band like you're surprised, like, why are you not killing yourself all the time? Because their music's really depressing. It's really good, but it's really depressing. It's like the metal version of The Cure. It's that good? Yes, it is that good of a song. I do not throw that compliment out that easy. Because you wouldn't think that Alien Ant Farm wrote it. Because you listen to some of Alien Ant Farm's other stuff, it's kind of playful, in a way. Like, the song Movies is about taking a girl out on a date. You know, if I remember right. And, fucking Smooth Criminal, it's a cover of, like, one of Michael Jackson's, not even his best hits. You know, everybody just remembers the lean.
Yep.
And they also remember Joe Pesci being in the music video. What's the name of the song? Dark in Here. But that was didn't MJ really dig Alien Ant Farm's version? I don't remember. I would have to look it up. But God, what else was around that time period?
I just remember. The one-hit wonder band Trapped as well. The less I remember about them, the better.
That song Headstrong was fucking everywhere, and it wasn't a good song.
And then it turns out that didn't it turn out that like a couple years lead singer's also kind of a fucking weirdo?
I don't remember.
Where Trapped actually kicked him out of the band.
I don't remember, honestly. Oh, another one from the Butt Rock thing. Breaking Benjamin was around that time period.
Yep. Oh, you want to know why we're struggling? Barrel of what we can tolerate, because other terrible fucking bands got to the top of the charts there. Like, fucking, first off, this was that was the area of American Idiot, which, you know, the less I think about Green Day, the better.
Oh God, yeah.
And then there's My Chemical Romance, which is just like every basic bitch who was in high school during 2005 is a fucking anthem band. Jesus Christ.
That was the time whenever I look back on it, and I have other like friends who are hardcore punkers, they say that that's the time period that sucked for them because they feel like punk sold out. And it's like, you know what? I have a hard time arguing against it.
Yep.
Because it's like, all the old school punkers had moved on, and they all hated the new stuff. Like, if you asked Danzig or Johnny Rotten or any of the Ramones about, like, the new punk, they're like, it sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it fucking sucks.
Yeah, you have Green Day to thank for that. West Coast, what is it? California West Coast punk kind of came in and kind of fucked it up for everyone.
They really did.
I have to hear All the Small Things by Blink-182.
Oh. Yeah. SoCal punk. The worst thing that ever happened to punk rock.
That is when punk died.
Pretty much. Did I mention Stained? Yeah, Stained was another one. And now Aaron Lewis, the lead singer of Stained, is a country star.
Oh, yeah. I guess we have to put rock on that too.
Wait, we went from Mud Shovel to that. What?
Oh, shit.
Like, really? This is where we're... All right. Fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, homie.
And then Eminem happened.
I was going to mention that. Like, in the world of hip-hop, that was the biggest thing. Other artists came out around that time. They were all overshadowed by Eminem.
Oh, yeah. I will be right back.
I remember Eminem basically, like, his camp, like him and 50 Cent and those guys, basically annihilated Ja Rule's career.
What?
Like, they just fucking destroyed him. It was bad. That was really interesting. And admittedly, I still listen to rap from around that time period. I still listen to Eminem from around that time period. I still listen to 50 Cent on occasion. whenever I'm like writing some Inglewood stuff or something along those lines. Still listen to Dr. Dre. Was never a big Snoop Dogg fan. But yeah, that was the big thing in rap, and it was pretty wild stuff. What was another good one from around that time period, music wise, though? I don't know. I just feel like that time period had some real gems to it. Yeah, Eminem killed MJK's career as well. Pretty much. He killed MGK's career so bad he had to change genres. Pop punk is basically safe punk, right? I would say it's commercialized punk is what it is. It's commercialized. It's punk from an assembly line. It doesn't have a raw feeling to it. Like we went from, to me, one of the most like raw punk songs ever written that was popular is from the Misfits. Last Caress. Because Glenn Danzig just comes out and says, "I got something to say. I killed your baby today." And it doesn't matter much to me as long as it's dead. That's fucking wild. How the fuck do you get away with that? You know? And then you've got Green Day. Wake me up when December ends. Shut the fuck up. God damn it. Fucking pussies.
Hmm. I mean,
and the worst part about it is everybody sounded fucking whiny.
Oh yeah, like what is it? The band Lit, right? I'm my own worst enemy. Oh fucking Jesus Christ!
That one was more butt rock though.
Yeah, true, but it still came from that same era. Green Day did.
Yeah. Yeah, the best way I could sum up, because Mouse is kind of bringing this up, the best way I could sum up pop punk is, "You'll never understand me, Dad." Oh, fuck off. I don't think he wants to either. I hope he beats you some more. Okay, that's mean. But I really hated Green Day.
Dude. And let's be honest, it's not even like Green Day before that good either. So the fact that they managed to make it that long is a fucking humanity that should be written into the Geneva Convention.
Yeah.
Oops. Sorry, Lila.
What else is there from around that time period? God.
I didn't mean to...
The funniest band name ever. Hoobastank. I don't think anybody remembers them except me.
I remember the name.
It's fucking funny because they're a one-hit wonder.
Mm-hmm.
But the one hit they had was really good. It's a song called Crawling in the Dark. And it was a pretty hype song. But why was the band called Hoobastank? You couldn't take them seriously. Another one where it felt like the lead singer really wanted to fucking die was Trust Company. I remember them. Their first album was pretty good, though. I still listen to it on occasion. Fuel came around that time as well.
Yeah.
They had a few... They were a butt rock band, but they had a couple of bangers. Though that Bad Day song sucks. Three Doors Down, another butt rock band.
Third
Had a
Eye
few good tracks. And then When I'm Gone came out, and I hated them because I heard that song so many fucking times. Who else was around that time period? Marilyn Manson was pretty popular around that time period.
Yep.
Which, that was a tough one to try to explain to your parents as to why you're listening to that. I'm glad my mother never asked me that question. I'd be like, I got nothing. Beautiful People's a good track. That's all I can say.
Right.
You know,
his early stuff, like with Dope, did the after.
It's just one of those things where it's like, what the? That was weird.
He was co-opted by the poser goth chicks in middle school.
See, we didn't have any of those, which is unfortunate.
Because I was in middle school and he was getting big at the time. Oh, when he got like super big. If I Was Your Vampire, there you go.
Yeah, I will freely admit to you right now, the high schools I went to, no goth chicks, and only a few listened to metal.
Yeah.
It sucked, like, because it was one of those things where, like, if you were the metalhead in those schools, because it's small country towns, right?
Yeah.
You were definitely the odd man out. Excuse me. So, and not only if you just listened to it, but you also kind of had the style, too. Because there were dudes who would listen to metal, you know, in my high school, but they dressed like every other prep, you know.
Yeah.
There wasn't really, like, any expression to it. Trying to think of other stuff that came out around that time. What about Punk Girls? Didn't have any of those either.
Yeah, because like as far as like, I'm about like 8 when it comes to like the times like when we were going to school. I was all like a school generation behind you. So my experience going into Southern California public schools led to a very different experience with that kind of stuff, and it was all posers by the time I got there.
Oh, probably. Yeah, I have no doubt. Yeah, I actually didn't start meeting like goth chicks until I was in my 20s.
Yeah, because this was the era of the MySpace. Ooh.
Yep.
So it was nothing but Nightmare Before Christmas, Tim Burton shit, and Marilyn Manson, If I Was Your Vampire, for miles.
Yep.
It was a bad time.
Where else? I was trying to think of what else there was. Because, yeah, like, it was torture when I was in high school because, like, everybody was listening to the country music. That was when Toby Keith got really popular.
Ooh.
And I had to work, and I worked at a radio station for my first job. And it was a country station. And that's all half of what they played was Toby Keith. And I was just like, I fucking hate Toby Keith.
Yep. But the troops loved him.
Yeah, I can't argue against it.
Like,
but
the troops loved him. It's like, all right, I'm gonna give you the.
I think the worst day I ever had working at that radio station. I had a 12-hour shift.
Woo!
And 12 hours of listening to country music made me want to die.
Oh, no doubt.
It was a 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. shift. And I remember I got off work, got relieved. You know, they're like, yeah, you can go home now. The tech guy came in to just make some adjustments for the overnight stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, just go home. You're good. Like, thank you. We had a Dairy Queen across the street. So I went in there. I ordered a chicken strip basket and a large drink, and I just fucking stared at it at the table for like 10 minutes because I was so exhausted.
Yep,
I'm like, I suppose I should eat this. I came back home. My dad's like, you're late getting home. And I'm like, I just ate a late dinner at Dairy Queen. I'm sorry. Like, it's been a day. It's been a day. So.
Yep.
Oh, gosh. Ugh. Man, it is... I'm... Speaking of exhausted, I still am. I don't know how I've been yapping so much. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do, folks, is I'm going to go ahead and send you guys over to Lolly, because I know he's streaming right now. And just tell him I sent you. I'm going to go and get some food and then get some sleep. So, yeah, I'm hungry. So, everybody have yourselves a great rest of your evening. I will see you back on Thursday. Get out of here.